All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Dragon Quest III Super Famicom. I'm Haktical, and I'm joined by my good friend Shadow Killer.
How's it going, everybody?
He was me going to do a whole intro and everything.
Oh,
Well, go for it, Bob.
Take it, Bob.
Good morning, questing for glory. How are we doing out there in Twitchland? It's me, Bob the Ninja Goldfish, and I'm here to be your host for this Dragon Quest III run, which is going to be run by the inimitable Haktical, and with commentary from the excellent Shadow Killer. And without any further ado, with no more faffing around, let's just get to the game, because that's what we're here for.
All right.
Take it away, Haktical.
We can certainly do that. So, this is Dragon Quest III for the Super Famicom. I'm going to be playing on the English translation patch for the purposes of this marathon. So I think we have some naming incentive bid wars. So if you could let me know what the hero's name, I think I know what it is, but if you want to let me know, so you need that right away.
The hero's name is going to be Solar, Solar, capital S.
All right, sounds good. So this run is going to be JRTA, so the timing is going to start from a reset and end at the end of the credits. So all the character names are going to be created within the first 5 minutes of the run, so we'll be cutting those off. As Bob said, the name for the hero is going to be Solar, so I'm going to reset us and get this timer going. So,
in fact, from the admins, we're kind of cutting those off now, so don't try and snipe those, just so you're aware.
All right, so I'm going to count us down here. Let me make sure I don't have a save file first. I think I cleared it. Okay. All right, so countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Hopefully don't need it.
See those good lucks in chat. Come on.
All right. So first things first, the game opens up. This is a little bit different if anyone's played the NES Dragon Warrior games. The game opens up into a little dream sequence here, and you get a little bit of a personality quiz for your hero. Shadow Killer, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So you walk up to this waterfall, and this voice from heaven starts to ask you some questions. The first thing it asks is, who are you? And it wants to know actually who the player is, not the character. So it asks your real name and your birthday, which will come into play much later. And then it starts to ask all these questions about, would you do this or that? And it determines your personality. Now, what the personality does is determines your stat growth throughout the game. And we go with, I don't even know what the English one is for this.
Lazy Hero.
Valiant? Lazy Hero. It's still the same. I didn't realize that. So we do Lazy Hero. We do that for, first off, it's fast. And second off, it gives us HP growth, which is really what we want here. So Hector will answer those questions, and then in that little sequence where he walked by, you have the option to push that rock back to the old man. And if you do that, it changes your personality. But since we're lazy, we just leave and get the one we wanted.
Yeah, if you push that rock 40 times, you get Tough Guy, which is the best personality, but is very, very slow.
It takes forever.
So similarly, all of our party members that we create are going to have personalities also, and I will likely be re-rolling the characters a few times to make sure that I get the personality that I need for each of them. So the general idea is that Tough Guy gives an extra 40% stamina growth. Iron Man is another good personality that gives an extra 30%. And your hit points are kind of throughout the run always about equal to double your stamina. It'll also be a factor when I create these characters. I'm going to be putting a bunch of stat seeds that the game gives you into stamina. And so when they level up to level 2, they'll get a huge HP boost. Not the hero. You don't get any stat seeds for the hero, but for all the other characters we make. But we're starting off. Our mother brings us to the king here, and the king tells you that you are the son of the great hero Ortega, who died when he fell into a volcano trying to take out the archfiend Baramos. And since you're his son, and you're 16 now, congratulations, your quest is to go defeat the archfiend Baramos. So he gives you 50 gold. He gives you 50 gold, some clothes, a couple sticks, and sends you on your way. Seems more than enough to kill an archfiend to me.
It's this king of this giant kingdom, and you get 50 gold and a couple of clubs and a stick, and you're like, here you go, defeat this evil.
All right, so I need names, starting with the warrior.
Starting with the warrior, we're doing one last refresh just to make sure we've got everything. Starting with the warrior will be named Darko, capital D-A-R-K-O.
All right. So for the warrior, I need 19 or more stamina, and I need the tough guy personality. Cannot take Iron Man for the warrior. So might have to reroll him a few times here. Iron Man, so that's not good enough.
So as Haktical mentioned earlier, obviously this game was never released in the US in English, so this is a fan-translated patch that we're using for this game, and menus and shopping are quite a bit slower. Look at this beefy boy. Oh, come on. Yeah, so like you said, we absolutely have to have the tough guy personality for the warrior. Unfortunately, that would have been a great warrior too. Let's see here. So we're looking for 19 stamina.
Okay, next up is the thief.
Thief will be Maru, M-A-R-U, capital M.
All right.
Shout outs to the Japanese restream.
Yes, I think Maru's doing commentary over there, so shout outs to them for sure. So we don't care about the personality for the thief, just 16 stamina. What's our mage? Is it Linda?
Mage will be Linda, yeah.
Yes.
Get him, Linda.
Running unopposed.
So the mage, I want 15 or more stamina, and I want either the Iron Man or the tough guy personality. We got tough guy, which is really good. Nice. And for our dealer, last character, merchant. Sorry,
P Mario, I think.
Is P Mario, capital P, capital M, A-R-I-O.
Awesome. So we don't care at all about the dealer's stats. The dealer is not going to go with us on our quest. The dealer is required for a side quest later. We'll see more of that when that comes up. But P Mario is going to be sitting in the friend bank for most of the run. But he'll...
That was a pretty good character creation there.
Have his time to shine. Yeah, for sure. So we got our warrior, our thief, and our mage Linda. We're going to be distributing the items that the king gave us here. Oops. This game is really fun to play. So the menus are very fast, and being JRTA rules, turbo controllers are allowed. So you'll see when I started the game, I set my message speed to 8, which means that it's kind of manual text advancement, and it means that turbo is very fast, and it can be honestly very difficult to play well when everything's moving so quickly. But so yeah, you'll see combat menus and everything else moving pretty quickly. So first things first, we're gonna go to the town of Reeve, kind of right next door, grab some supplies. A little bit short on gold, so I'm gonna be short 1 herb, but not a huge deal. Oops. I'm gonna sell all the stuff we picked up. So at the beginning of the run, I picked up a string seed from the dresser in the bed, and next to the bed, and a life seed from the castle. So we're gonna sell all that stuff, or luck seed, yeah. Buy some herbs, buy some chimera wings, and in this game, you don't really get a lot of healing. You do get, the hero will get a weak heal spell, and eventually our sage later on will get some healing. But really for a lot of the run, the entire first half in particular, we really rely heavily on medical herbs to do all the healing for us. So I'm going to be buying a lot of them to characters to use in battle, to the bag to use in between fights, etc. So we're heading into the tower here. So basically there's this tower in this little lake that we go through this cave to get to. And that tower has the Thief's Key in it, which, if anyone's played a Dragon Quest game, there are always these keys throughout the game that are used to kind of open various locked doors. And there's a few tiers in this game. There's the Thief Key, the Magic Key, and then the Final Key. What is this targeting? So the first one here, yeah. So the first one here is this Thief's Key tower, and along the way we want to get everybody to level 2, and preferably get the warrior and the thief to level 3. Kind of unfortunate that the mage didn't get level 2 there. I'll probably end up taking this in instead of using medical herbs. Just grind out a fight here. There's a little inn in a basement over here. Just saves us some herbs for a little bit later. So after this Thief Key, we're going to be going on a really dangerous walk, and we'll need all the healing we can get. Which is why I'm taking this in. And you can see my characters right now. I talked about personalities and stats earlier. They all have like 10 hit points. And once we take this in, you'll see what they're at now. But it's going to be like, 30 to 40 hit points for everybody.
Yeah, so I see chat talking about a couple different versions of this game. This is closest to the GBC version, though GBC I think had a little extra content compared to this one. I've never played the GBC version. But yeah, this was never released in the US like we said, but the animations are great. It looks amazing. It plays fantastic. So if you've never played this game, this is the version you want to play, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the GBC version has monster medals and an extra bonus dungeon that relies on those monster medals in post-game.
Yeah, that's correct. This is based on the DQ6 engine. They also re-released DQ1 and 2, and that's closer to DQ5.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a mobile version of the game, which has, within the last year or so, been released on Switch. It is a mobile port, so it's not the best, but it's okay. It's
fine. It's fine.
Sure is. So some of these fights, you saw that there was one that I ran from. I'm going to be running from a lot of fights throughout this run in general. And it's kind of a recurring theme of this run is getting random encounters and determining, is it worth fighting them or is it worth running away? And for the sake of the marathon, I'm going to be leaning towards fighting more than I normally would, rather than running away, to get a little bit of extra experience. Getting level 3 here is nice.
Astral Slide. Yeah, I mean, this is the exact same game. It's just updated graphics, and there's a one post-game boss you can do. It was just remade for the SNES, only released in Japan.
Yeah, if you're
comparing it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're comparing it to the NES version, the game is balanced very differently, so there's a lot of mechanical differences in the back end, but the story and all that is the same.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple of plot trigger differences as well. Oh my god, this encounter rate is nuts.
And
it's funny.
I
guess I should talk about running away. So in this game, when you try to run away, there's a few things to know. One is that not every enemy is guaranteed to take an action. At least one will always act, but it could be anywhere from 1 to all of them. And the first time you try to run away from a fight, you have a 25% chance to get away, which is half of what it is for most Dragon Quest games. Most are 50% on the first try. And on the second try you run, it's 50%, then 75%, and then finally it'd be guaranteed. So fourth try run is always a guarantee, but you hate to see them.
First try run's impossible, so.
Sure is.
All right, so at the top of that tower, Haktical just got the thief key from the old man, and then we used a Wing of Wyvern, which is like a warped zoom spell, whatever you want to call it. And we came back to town here, and we're talking to this old man. He's like, "Oh, how'd you get in here? You must have the thief key. Here's a magic ball, which will blow up a wall in a cave." So we get the bomb or whatever, and we're gonna leave and head to the cave to blow up that wall and continue our journey over to Romilly. So in this cave, the enemies get a little bit harder. So Haktical is not going to be fighting anything. More than likely, not going to be fighting anything.
I won't be fighting.
We're going to be okay. So he's just going to be running away and healing, and just trying to make his way through the cave to the next town.
Yeah, there are a couple of, in particular, really dangerous enemies in the cave that's coming up. First is the Almirage, the purple bunnies. They can cast sleep and put your whole party to sleep.
Awful.
You can get sleep locked and wipe from it. It's pretty terrible, yeah. And the other is the Anteater type enemy, which, if there's more than one of them, they always focus the same target. So if you fail to run a couple times, there's a good chance that somebody gets owned. These babbles here can poison you, so I'm really hoping to not see that. You can tell, it's actually one of the cool things about this game, is that when they do that splash animation, that's their poison hit. That's when they get a chance to poison. So a lot of enemies in this game will have different animations depending on which attack they do, if they have a chance to poison or paralyze or a critical hit or something like that.
So Chad asks, why do we use the thief? You'll find out later on, but the thief learns an ability called tiptoe, which reduces the encounter rate. So basically, we use that throughout the second half of the run so that we just don't fight as many encounters. It's not available in the NES version. Thief is an addition to this version of the game, and really helps out the speedrun quite a bit.
Yeah, so I guess I can talk about random encounters while we're at it. So the way this game works is it has what we refer to as a depletion system, where every time you load into an area, from like a staircase or a cave entrance or leaving a battle, it generates a random number, and then every time you take a step, it depletes that random number. And when it hits 0, you get an encounter. So
Nice.
What Tiptoe does is it halves your depletion rate. So it makes it much more likely that you'll be able to reach a staircase or something to encounter cancel and reset that random number without getting an encounter. So even though it halves your depletion, it really probably cuts your overall encounter rate to like a third. It's very significant.
Yeah, so encounter canceling, like Haktical just said, whenever you enter a staircase or a town or a shrine on the overworld, it resets that depletion number. So you'll see him walk into caves and then walk right back out, and that's exactly why. Just to reset that encounter. Don't die, Darko. Thank you.
Darko can't die.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar, Darko is a godlike speedrunner of this game. Best Western time. And Maru, as well as the speedrunner of this game, and also doing the Japanese restream, we believe. So shout outs to Maru. Maru made a speedrun guide for this game that I think most people learned when they first started. Was translated into English by Star, I think. Is that right?
I'm honestly not sure. I never really used Maru's guide too much.
Okay, well, just prove me wrong. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. But I used Maru's guide. It's very comprehensive, very easy to follow. So if you are interested in learning this game or even just playing the game with the speedrun route, Maru's guide is very, very good.
Yeah, Maru is a former world record holder of this game, and Darko, as SK mentioned, is a top tier runner. Darko has the number 3 time in the world for this game, faster even than Maru's time, I believe. I think Maru has a 2:38 and Darko's got a 2:30. Or no, Darko's got a 2:38 too, right?
He has a 2:38. Yep.
The world record is Marizo, and I think second place is Keta. And then Darko.
That sounds right. Yeah, so I think there's like 2 minutes separating first place and third place.
So yeah, anyway, so we're at the point now where I mentioned the keys earlier. we're walking to get the magic key from the pyramid, and
Nice.
this is okay. We're alive. You are not supposed to go to the magic pyramid at level 2 and level 3. You're supposed to be here at level, I don't know, like 8, 10, something like that.
Yeah.
So we can't fight anything. We're just going to be running away from everything we can and hope we don't die. And I'm going to be stopping in the town of Oslam here. I'm going to pick up a fur hood, which is a defensive item, revive my dead character, and then we're going to trek onto the pyramid. I might take a stop in Isis first. That's the town next to the pyramid. I definitely need to go there after the pyramid, but if anybody's dead, I will probably go there to revive for some safety. I'm gonna sell this
Are we
book
going
also.
to get the golden claw? God, no. That's the answer to that.
Yeah, the NES/Famicom run gets the golden claw to sell for money because it's worth a lot, but it takes quite a while to get, and we don't need it.
We don't have Does outside even work in the pyramid? I don't even know.
You can't use spells on the lower floors of the pyramid where the golden claw is. So.
Right. So
And-
and you get an encounter almost every step once you grab it, so it's terrible.
Yeah, in the NES and Famicom versions, you can death warp out with the claw, but in this version, you can't until you're like out of the pyramid, or at least off the bottom floor. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, definitely not the bottom floor.
There was an interesting question in chat earlier, if you don't mind me going back.
Absolutely.
About the encounter number. Stalker asks, is there a minimum or maximum number for the encounter number?
So I mean, there's obviously a maximum somewhere. I don't know what these numbers are. Minimum, no, not really. I have seen a half tile dungeon encounter with tiptoe active, so it can
Wow.
really be nothing. But
Yeah.
I do think it's normalized. So I do think that it's typically somewhere in like the middle range of values that you see. But I don't have statistics on it. It's one of those things that's like forever on my list to go run
Yeah.
some
Nice
scripts on.
walk. Sorry, nice walk. Holy cow.
Yeah,
2
having
encounters?
everybody alive entering this pyramid is very nice. So I did not take the
Alright.
stop in Isis.
Yeah, so this is the pyramid. It's terrible. I would say 50% of runs die here, and then you just reset. But Haktical's in really good shape. He's got everybody alive. He's got plenty of herbs. So we go through the pyramid, and there's a little puzzle on this floor. You have to flip these 4 switches in the order of 3, 2, 1, 4. And hopefully this is a good walk. All right,
It's
pretty
okay.
good. And just everything's terrifying. So people are gonna die. It's fine, or they're not gonna die, and it's even better.
Yeah, so
So
those
those
king
mu-
toads can put you to sleep.
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
mummies can critical hit. Some of the enemies can call for horks to help. Everything in here is very scary. The king toads are actually, they do the least damage. So if everybody's alive, they're actually pretty good to run into. But they do put you to sleep. So
All right, we just
Yes.
got to make it back to those stairs, and we should be fine.
yeah. So we hit all 4 switches. So we talked about encounter canceling earlier. You can't encounter cancel halfway through the puzzle, otherwise it resets the puzzle.
Oh
But-
my god!
But since I've hit all 4 now, we can encounter cancel. And if I died, the door would still be open. So it opens this door up here, which blocks off the magic key.
What a pyramid! Good
Yeah,
lord.
getting that first try is incredibly nice.
That's so good. No, how is nobody dead? I didn't know that could happen.
I know, right? So one thing you see me do there after picking up the key is I'm reordering my party. So when you pick up an item in this game from a treasure chest or a drop, it always goes to the person in the front of your party. There's a couple things I can talk about with party order, but this one for now, it'll always go to the front of your party, or if their inventory is full, the person in second, etc. So I utilize that a lot when I'm going to be buying or selling or picking up items in order to just kind of make it more efficient. You know, I mentioned earlier that we can use turbo, so it really takes advantage of the turbo functionality and just, you know, reduces the number of inputs.
Crabber,
this-
dabber, do.
Crabber dabber do, sure enough.
So
this should be
this,
the last
okay.
attack.
Yeah, this should be the last one. You should be fine. Those cats on the left there use stop spell like 90% of the time for their first turn, and the crabs use increase a lot of the time as well. So, well, except when you can't run away.
We'll be fine.
But yeah, even if people die, it's all right. He's right next to the town. He just has to get to those forest tiles there. And then yeah, look at this guy.
All right.
Pretty risky.
Nah.
All right. So this is Isis. This is the, I guess, desert town, whatever. So we're gonna go in here. There's not much to say. We're gonna go in here and steal from the queen. She's got these treasures. It's so funny. I've played this game before. Most importantly, we're gonna pick up these. There's 4 chests on either side. They've got a lot of good stuff, money, items we're going to sell. We skipped that one chest. It has a tiny medal in it. We don't get any tiny medals in this run. Hopefully. But basically everything that he's picking up here, he's going to sell, except for that, the silk robe, that'll go to the mage. But so we're going to sell all these items, get a ton of money, and then make our way to a different town and buy equipment that we're not supposed to have till much later in the game. And be pretty overpowered.
Yeah, so this game in general, compared to the NES version, has a lot more money available, a lot more things to sell, a lot more chests, a lot more things lying around in pots and drawers. And so we take advantage of that to get really strong equipment. And we can't get to that vault without the stuff from the Magic Pyramid. So I'm going to be selling some of this stuff now. And
I'm guessing you're going to hold on to the ruby ring for now.
Yes.
Okay. So in like a PB attempt, you would sell everything here. But when you die, if all your party members wipe out, then you lose half of your gold. And gold is super important early in the game. So Haktical's going to hold on to that ruby ring, which is worth like over 7,000 gold or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he'll sell it later in the next town, just in case something terrible happens, but it won't, so it'll be fine. I'm doing it as much as I can now.
I know.
So Haktical's going to buy some armor here. He's going to buy iron armor, shields, and give them to the warrior and hero, then buy some items, wings of wyvern, antidote herbs, holy waters, and just herbs to heal with later. Basically using as much of the gold as he can, just in case, like I said, if he does die, you don't lose items, but you do lose gold, so spend it while you can. After that, he's going to run up to the priest up there, revive his dead characters, and then he's going to do something a little weird. At the beginning of the game, if you remember, we did that personality building thing with the 4 characters we created. The thief's personality was gourmet, which is okay for the beginning, but we don't want that throughout the rest of the game. So he's actually going to jump in the well, and there's going to be a treasure chest in there with a personality book. There are personality books throughout this whole game, and what they do is when you use them, it does what it says. It changes your personality to a different type. I don't actually know what the book type is. What is it?
Fearless, I believe, is the English
Fearless
name.
Okay. But that'll give us closer to the stat growth that we want for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Fearless has good hit points and also very good agility. So
Yeah.
it's a perfectly fine backup if you don't get Tough Guy. And in addition to the books that are scattered throughout the game, there are some accessories that you can get in this game that change your personality while they're equipped. And we'll be using some of those also, like the hero ring that we'll pick up in Aliahan in just a minute. And those, once you unequip them, your personality changes back. It's like a temporary effect. So some of the routing is based around characters having that equipped at certain times. So I'm going to use some of the seeds that I picked up here, and also use this Brave book on our thief, Brave Maru. And then
I saw HS said in chat that the Japanese restream went wild when Mario died in the pyramid. Sorry, Japanese restream.
I'm sure they also went wild on the first try Magic Key.
Yeah, I know, right? I went
Very happy.
wild. Jeez. All right, so we're back in Aliahan. We're gonna steal from the treasury here too, because that's what we do. We're heroes. We steal. Pick up some more seeds. We're gonna pick up the rune staff, which will be the weapon for the mage. But most importantly, like Haktical said, we're gonna pick up the hero bracelet, which is gonna go to the thief to begin with. But there's no chest there. But we're gonna switch it back and. We're going to switch it back and forth between the hero and the thief for the beginning of the game because it does boost attack power. But after that, we're going to go back to Romilly. We're going to take a walk and head to Portoga, where we're going to buy some more weapons. And then we're actually going to start to play the game a little bit, at least in the order intended. We've definitely sequence broken this game so far. Oh, right, this whole thing. Forgot about the meteorite bracelet.
Yeah, so in the basement of Isis Castle here, there's a chest with the starry ring, it's called in this translation, but the meteorite armband is the typical Dragon Quest name for it. In this game, it doubles your agility while it's equipped, which is very useful for turn order, and also agility in this game directly contributes to your defense. So you open the chest, and this little ghost guy pops out, and he's like, "Did you wake me up?" And we're just going to tell him no. He's just going to leave us alone.
He's like, "Oh, okay. All right, see ya."
All right. And now, as Shadow Killer said, we're heading off to Romilly. So we'll probably get a couple encounters on the way. The last walk to Romilly is really dangerous. There's one enemy in particular, the lumps, that will absolutely murder you.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope to not see them, but there's also rogue knights and some scary birds and some mushrooms that put you to sleep. So I'm going to be forcing an encounter before crossing that encounter line, and then really hope we make it all the way without getting one.
Not the lumps, indeed.
Even if we get one, it's probably fine.
Probably.
So
it's when you get
a quick update. I apologize.
No,
please.
So, while we've done all of the NAMI incentives for Dragon Quest III, there is one incentive left for this game. Haktical, do you want to tell us what it is?
I want to make sure I'm not going to die to these lumps first.
Okay.
Okay. So, at the end of the game, it's kind of tradition for the players to sing the ending credits. And we still have that open. I think it's a $500 incentive, and we're pretty close, but that'll stay open throughout the.
So it's actually a $400 incentive.
Oh, $400. Okay.
And we are currently sitting at $335.33.
Oh.
So we are very, very close to hearing Haktical singing the finale song.
I want to warn everybody that I don't sing very well, but it is very fun, and it is definitely part of the JRTA tradition of this game to sing the credit song. So the Japanese stream would be very happy to hear that, I think.
Yes, I agree. And I think everybody would be happy to hear it because it'll be fantastic.
And it will be raising money for a good cause, and that's what this is all about.
Absolutely.
Have fun and raise some money. So I just bought some items. I bought a steel sword for the warrior and steel whips for the hero and the thief. The whips are very strong. They'll hit an entire group of enemies. And then I sorted all my junk to the bag. So this game has commands where you can just kind of take all of your unused stuff and stick it in the bag, which let me easily buy a bunch of herbs to both my mage and my thief's inventory, which will let them be able to use it in battle. So in Dragon Quest, for people who aren't familiar and might be more used to Final Fantasy, you can only use in combat items that are actually in your character's inventory. You can't pull items from the bag or anything like that. So it's very important that for certain fights, characters have things like medical herbs, and there will also be some other usable items like the Mist Staff and the Thunder Staff that we'll be using a lot in combat, and they have to be on the right characters, like this Mist Staff here. So this is the last treasury that we'll be looting for now. So I'll pick up all the stuff, and then we'll go revive Maru again, and then we'll be off to actually killing some things.
Yeah, so something kind of clever about this game is whenever a character is dead, there's actually different dialogue for when you're trying to give them an item or something. At the beginning of the game, we got that thief's key, and if you go to the tower, the old man specifically asks for the hero, but if the hero's dead, he's like, "Oh, well, I'll just stick the key in this casket then." It's actually faster, believe it or not.
Yeah. This game
But
is.
you don't want the hero to be dead.
This game is really well done. There's a lot of little touches like that are just really, I don't know, really wholesome. And one thing that's interesting, you'll see me, like, even though I'm in Romilly, I did it earlier too, a couple times. Like, why did I just wing out of there? And the answer is just that it's faster than walking out. Using a wing and taking a little bit of, just using up that one item is not a big deal. That's why we bought so many of them. And we do get the return spell later that I can lean on if I run out of wings, or I can buy more. So just utilizing them to save movement time is pretty important.
All right, so we got our weapons, we got our armor, and we're actually going to start fighting some stuff now. The big thing that we got in Portoga were two of our characters have whips, which will attack groups of enemies instead of just one singular enemy, which is going to be a huge help. So basically, we're just going to turbo through these battles for the most part. Just attack. He'll run if it's an encounter with too many groups of enemies, or if it's just going to take too long. But we're going to get a few levels here, and then we're going to make our way up here to the next town, which you just saw on the top there.
Yeah, so there's a couple things I want to talk about during this segment. One of them is party order. So I talked about it a little bit earlier with picking up items. But the other effect party order has, and the more notable one, is that party order also affects how often your characters get targeted by enemies. So when enemies cast spells, it has an equal chance of hitting everybody. But when an enemy uses a physical attack, there are a couple of exceptions, and actually the first boss is one of those exceptions. It has a 40% chance of hitting the person in the lead, a 30% chance of hitting the person in second, 20%, 10%. So I'll be reordering my party quite a bit to make sure that whoever's generally the tankiest will be in the front. And I'm going to be stopping here to pick up a couple more safety items. And I'm just going to heal real quick. And then we're going to head back off to Kandar 1. So anyone familiar with the NES or Famicom speedruns, they actually skip fight in Kandar 1. It's not required in that version. But I should probably run from this because they didn't see me, but it'll be an easy kill. But in this version of the game, fighting Kandar 1 is actually required. If you go to Kandar 2 Cave early, he's just not there. And the other thing that I'm going to be doing during this grind is looking out for spells. So my mage already hit level 4 and did not learn any spell. I'll be looking again at level 5. So at level 4, my mage has a chance of learning the upper spell. And spells in this game are a little bit interesting. There's kind of two classes of spells. Some are always a 50-50 every time you level up, and that's what the upper spell is. So I'm never technically guaranteed to learn that spell. But there's a 50-50 chance every level. And then there's another class where it's based off of your wisdom score, where if your wisdom is very high, you might be guaranteed to learn it at the exact level. Otherwise, it's a 50-50. And those you'll always be guaranteed to learn within 2 levels. So at level 5, I can learn the Ice Bolt spell, and it'll be a 50-50. But I'd be guaranteed to learn that one by level 7. I'm not going to be going to level 7. Our friend Rogue Knight here. So this is one of the enemies that has a chance of getting a critical hit. And shout outs to Clear Tonic from his RPG Limit Break run a few years ago, getting the classic crit from the Rogue Knight in the middle of this tower here.
Yeah, so this is Champagne Tower, and like Haktical said, we haven't talked to anybody to know the plot. Obviously, plot triggers in this game are kind of few and far between. But so we're gonna go up to the top, and Kandar will be there with his goons, and we're gonna fight him because he stole the king's crown from Romilly, right? It's Romilly.
Yes.
And so we're gonna go up there and fight him to get the crown back. but we got to make our way through this tower here, and we're just going to continue to fight things, get a couple more levels. He's doing really well on experience already, so I don't know how much more fighting he'll do, but let's see. Come on, Linda.
No spell.
Linda, please. Oh, that's...
Linda will just have to get him.
Get him, Linda.
So
the mage not having spells isn't ideal, but it's also not the end of the world.
Yeah, the mage has a very strong weapon at this point in the game, so it's not really a big deal for the mage to attack during this boss fight and this trash here. Pretty soon we'll be selling it. It's worth a lot of money, but for now the mage is a pretty strong physical attack. But the spells are much better. So yeah, we didn't learn any spells at level 4 or level 5, so we didn't get Upper or Ice Bolt for the Kandar 1 fight, which isn't really a problem, usually. So Ice Bolt definitely makes it faster, and Upper definitely makes it safer. The real danger for Kandar 1 is he comes with 3 goons, and Kandar and the goons all have even attack distribution, so they're just as likely to hit the mage, for example, as they are the tankier characters, which is pretty unfortunate. And then in addition to that, Kandar 1 has a critical hit chance. So he's got a 1 in 8 chance of attempting a crit, and then a 1 in 8 chance of that actually being a crit. And that will one-shot almost everybody. It's possible if the warrior is very high, he could survive, but...
And if he hits that crit, it will 100% be on the mage. That's the way this game works. So one difference between the NES version and this version is targeting in battle. You'll see Haktical put all his characters attacking one character or one enemy at the same time. And when that character dies, or the enemy dies, excuse me, they'll move on to the other characters. It didn't do that in the NES version.
I never equipped the
You never equipped? Oh my gosh.
Always
Have
equipped.
you played this game?
I don't think so.
Accessories are impossible. It's fine. So like you said, we're switching the hero ring to the hero for a little extra attack power, and the meteorite bracelet, or starry ring, to the thief for agility. So she should go first all the time in case we need to heal or defend or whatever. So, all right, this is Kandar and his goons. We're going to take out the goons first, and then work on Kandar.
See, it's a good thing I defended with Linda. She's already been hit twice.
Oh my gosh, Linda. Come on, Linda. All right.
Defend again. It's fine.
Smart play. Just take it easy.
Wow.
What is happening?
That's hilarious. All right. The goons are in good shape though, so we should be fine.
So the one character...
Wow.
What just happened? He was defending too. What a great round. You really don't want the mage to die here. It's not a huge deal if anyone dies, really, but mage especially, you don't want to die because she has a chance to learn Fireball, Gira, after this. And that'll be good for the next fight, as well as she has a chance to learn Increase, which would be very good. That's the crit animation. Luckily, the crit didn't hit.
Yeah. So apologies in advance if I start using Japanese names for spells or anything like that, like Gira instead of Fireball. I do usually play this game in Japanese. I'll do my best to remember English names, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing. Yeah, nobody really speedruns the English patch version of this game. If you do run this game, it's in Japanese. And that can be a little daunting for new runners. It was really daunting for me because I don't speak any Japanese. I don't read any Japanese. Haktical is fluent in Japanese, so he had an easy time. But it's actually not too bad. Like after you do a few runs, you start to get the muscle memory down. You start to recognize the characters for what they are. So if you are interested in learning this game, it is a little hard to get into, but once you get going, it's not too bad. Nice. Fireball. How about Increase, Linda?
We got upper finally.
That's good. Did you learn Ice Bolt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So even though we came here to get the crown back, we're just going to leave it there. We're not going to bring it to the king. He doesn't need it.
What crown? What crown? How likely is it to learn more than one spell at once? I don't think there's like a certain chance. It just will happen or it won't happen.
Yeah, spells are kind of rolled individually. Here. You can definitely learn. I've seen up to like 4 spells at once. I don't know if I've ever seen more than 4. Like, it doesn't
that's a
fit
good
on
point.
the text box.
Yeah, it might not. Whenever we're gonna change one of our characters' classes to a different one, and that class learns a ton of spells. So there's a chance you'll see 3-4 spells at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is Norud?
Yes, Norud.
Yeah, Norud's cave. We're gonna hop down here. There's a life seed over here. Pick that up for later, and then we're gonna go over to Norud the dwarf, and he's gonna very gently open the way to the next town.
Yeah, for purposes of the marathon, I'm picking up a lot of extra safety seeds. That life node is one that I would never get in a PB attempt anymore. And a lot of the things you see me pick up for seeds, I skip a fair number of them in PB attempts.
Ow. Okay.
My PB in this game, on the English patch, is a 312, but in Japanese it's a 256. And sub 3 in Japanese is kind of seen as like the benchmark of, you've put in your time, you've learned this game, you're decent at it. Again, the world record is like a 236. It's much faster than that.
Yeah.
But sub 3 is like the benchmark that, most players kind of shoot for. And so I'm past that as of a few months ago, but there's still plenty more time to be saved. And the faster you get, the more and more you cut out of the run, but the scarier and scarier it gets as a result.
Mm-hmm.
So this walk here to Baharata's, pretty safe. The hunter flies can cast fireball, and these guys can breathe fire. So I do need to make sure I keep my HP up, but in general, it's not too bad. If any red dogs show up, I can expel them.
Yeah. I mean, these fights are a little scary. They're not too bad. Luckily, with the whips and how strong we are, we should be able to make pretty quick work of most of them. The hunter flies, the like wasp-looking guys, are the scariest of the group. So if we do run into those, we'll take those out first. Like these. See ya.
Yeah. In the meantime, Bob, if you have anything that you want to, shout out or any donations or anything, now's a pretty good time.
I would love to. I would like to say that if the prospect of hearing Haktical's absolutely perfect singing at the end of the run isn't enough to tempt you to donate, we do have some prizes that we are running during this run as well. We have an actual copy of Dragon Quest 9, I think it was. Yeah, 11. I got the X and the I the wrong way round. I'm bad at Roman numerals this morning. For the PS4, that has been donated to us by T Murdoch. Shout out to T Murdoch. How you doing,
Thanks,
buddy?
Murdoch.
And we've also got 2 absolutely fantastic plushies. If you've seen any of the other plushies that we've done during the marathon from Plush Mayhem, we have a dark blue slime plush and a metal slime plush. They are absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to see more of those, head over to Plush Mayhem's Twitter over at twitter.com/plushmayhem. That's PLUSHMAYHEM. They are absolutely brilliant. So get your donations in. We do have one I want to read right now from Jim Bowden, who donates $10 and just says, "Sing."
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jim. So this is Baharata, the next town we're at. Haktical just sold a few things. He bought some magic shields for everybody but the warrior there. Are you doing spiderweb?
No spiderweb.
Okay. All right, so he's just going to buy some herbs for the thief and the mage for the next fight. And then we're going to come down here and talk to this old man who's talking to his grandson. I think it's his grandson. I don't know. But the grandson's girlfriend got captured by Kandar. Kandar quickly made his way over here, kidnapped somebody, and went into a cave. And we are going to go rescue the girlfriend.
Tanya is her name.
Sure, whatever. Lore. Gupta is the only name that you need to know.
Gotta know your lore. I like to make up lore for games, so when I say that, it is in the purest of sarcasm. But yeah, so Kandar 2 is hanging out in this cave right over here, and we've got a little more defensive equipment. We sold the mage's weapon, so she can really only cast spells now.
Mm-hmm.
And, hopefully we'll just get this one encounter and it'll be pretty smooth. Kandar 2, there's 2 encounters for Kandar 2. There's a group of 4 goons that are a little bit stronger. They've got twice as much hit points, so 120 each. They can cast the defense spell, which lowers all of your defense, and they can also cast Heal More to heal each other. But they do use normal target weighting, unlike the Kandar 1 goons, so that's kind of nice. Mm-hmm. And if they cast the defense spell, there's a technique we can use. It's a little bit of a glitch, but it's actually allowed in this run. If you go into combat and you change your equipment in combat, it recalculates your stats. So any buffs or debuffs that you have are kind of canceled away. So if they lower our defense, I'll be going into my character's equipment and just like re-equipping something that's already equipped, just reselecting it, and that'll cancel out the defense debuff. But it's annoying if they do it on the first turn because then a bunch of them get to attack before I can do that.
So he's going to switch the accessories again between the thief and the hero. Strength for the hero, agility for the thief. And then he's going to heal up, use a couple of those seeds he just got, and reorder the party, because like he said, the attacks are weighted towards the front of the party.
Thanks
so
for running
put our
the
beefy
seeds.
You're welcome. You skipped it. I was like, okay. And then we're going to have the goons fight. So 4 goons, 1 group, which is great because we have those whips. So, okay, I was wondering if you were going to do that or not. So, we picked up a staff back in Portoga called the Mist Staff, and what that does is uses Stop Spell whenever it's used in battle. So, Tactical's probably going to use it once, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, move on with life. Mm-hmm. So, let's see if we get any of them here.
Got the 3rd one.
3rd one, okay. 1's good. I mean, it's better than 0. So other than that, we're just going to attack, use Fireball, heal with the Thief, and hopefully these goons don't use Heal More too much. Heal More is what really slows this fight down. If you can start taking the guys out pretty quick before they have the chance to do that, then you should have a pretty clean fight. There's 1 down already. Very nice.
Oops. I accidentally just parried with Mario and then attacked with Linda. It's fine.
See?
Well,
you knew what you were doing. Look at that. Good defend.
Sure. That worked out.
Get him, Linda. Easy fight. That was a really good fight.
Yeah, that was really clean. So Kandar 2 is much like Kandar 1, a slightly higher chance to critical hit, but otherwise basically the same. He comes with 2 goons, and they're the same as these ones here, so they can also cast Heal More and Defense. And it's a little bit scary if they cast Defense, because the goons and Kandar both do quite a bit of damage, but it's usually fine. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. All right, so we beat the goons, and Gupta's like, hey, let us out. Let's get out of here. So you come down, flip the switch, and release the girlfriend and Gupta. And they're like, all right, let's get out of here.
Happily ever after.
We'll see you in town. And then Kandar shows up and is like, hold up. And now
we
have
didn't
to fight
talk about
Kandar.
We didn't talk about the reason that we're even coming to this town either.
Oh, okay. Well, we can talk about that after this fight.
Yeah.
All right. So more goons. We're not going to use Stop Spell on them this time because there's only 2 of them. Hopefully we take them out pretty quick, and then we're just going to work on Kandar. Now, for the Kandar 1 fight, we were pretty overpowered. This fight, we're kind of where we're supposed to be. And Kandar 2 has, 800 HP?
700, 800, something like that.
Somewhere in there. So he's got quite a bit of HP, so this fight can take a little while. You did see a Heal More there by the 2nd goon.
debating using an herb there, but it's
Yeah.
better not to.
Okay, got him. Nice. All right.
Yeah, we should be good now.
So the only thing to note here is Haktical's going to be using upper on his first few characters here, but he doesn't want to use too much MP. He will if he has to, but you want to walk out of this fight with at least 8 MP on the Mage Nice Kaishin. And that is so that the mage can use the outside spell, which just takes you outside the cave rather than having to walk out. Just saves a little time. But, you know, if he's in trouble and has to use a spell, he will. I mean, walking out is much faster than dying. So
yeah, but at this point, like, the fight is fine. I mean, crits can kill us, but
they would kill you anyway. So
yeah, we're in good shape.
Crits don't take into effect defense. So if you get crit, it always does maximum damage, basically.
Yep. And the one thing to note is for our attacks, the whip users can't crit while they're using a whip. So you do lose that a little bit when you're fighting a boss. You'll actually see a little bit later when we're fighting some metal slimes that I'll occasionally be switching to the sword. And that's mostly for targeting reasons, but a little bit because it gives you that critical hit chance. It's very small. I don't know the exact odds, but 1 in 64 or something.
All right, so like we said, I mean, this fight's basically done for the most part. We're just gonna... There it is. All right. Just keep attacking till he goes down. Good fight. Good Kandar, too.
Yeah, everything's going nice and smooth so far. Not super fast, but...
Why'd you say that? What was the reason?
Famous last words.
I know, right?
I don't get superstitious in Dragon Quest anymore. I just expect it to own me.
Yeah. All right, so Kandar's like, oh god, I'm sorry, spare me. And we do spare him, and then we never see him again. I think there is some more plot. Or do we? Do we?
No.
No, we don't. Stop it. I think he ends up in a cell somewhere in one of the castles. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've casualed this game. But so we saved Gupta and Tanya. And the reason we came here in the first place is because the King of Portoga wants pepper, all right? So we come all the way to Baharata, we save the kids, and believe it or not, Gupta owns the pepper shop. So he's like, here, have some pepper. And then we're going to take that back to the king, who is going to be so appreciative that he's going to give us a boat. The king, he said that at the beginning when we first talked to him. He was like, if you bring me pepper, I'll give you a boat. And he doesn't expect you to do it, but you do it, and he's like, oh, here's a boat. So that's nice.
Yeah, and that's the reason why that letter that we showed to Nora to get to Baharata came from this king. Like, that's how we got there to begin with. So we had to come here, learn about that first, to get to Baharata, and then you find out that Gupta's the one who sells the pepper, and then he runs off for Kandar. So that's the whole reasoning for that. But the biggest swindle in the history of RPGs, a little bit of pepper for a boat.
At least
I don't know.
Man of his word, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Oh, pepper, thanks, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that the king gets the better end of the trade. Honestly, I wouldn't want a life without pepper.
You should have given you a mystery box. Could have even been a boat.
So when we went into Portoga there, we took the inn for 2 reasons. 1, obviously to heal, but 2, it sets up the day-night cycle for this boat ride. So in DQ3, towns are different at night than they are during the day, and we want to get it to Su, the next town we're going to, while it's still day. So you have to take a very specific route. You can't do any extra movement, because if you do, it'll be nighttime when you get there. So as long as you do it perfect, like Haktical just did, you'll be fine. And we made it to Su.
Yeah, and I mean, if you mess it up, no, I don't get the agility seed. If you mess it up, if you mess it up, it's only like you take the inn. It's only like a 10-second loss or something, but still better to get it right. And so we come here.
The Japanese restream are talking about the singing incentive.
Oh boy!
And we have had a couple of donations towards that, which has now put us at $375.33 out of 400. So if you
Awesome.
if you want to make sure that Haktical has to warm up his pipes, get your donations in.
All right, so this section of the run, Haktical is going to be clear chilling. Going to be kind of going around the world to a few different places, picking up some items before progressing the game even further. The boat encounter rate is the lowest in the game, so he's not going to get a whole lot of encounters on the boat, but he's still going to walk into there, encounter cancel to reset the counter, and then be on his way.
Yeah, even though I had just gotten a fight, like the encounters over here by this next area are very, very scary. So I want every chance I can to not get one, and we get one anyway.
Of course.
Oh boy,
Ooh,
this is
a spicy fight.
yeah. The
right.
it's a little bit
Easy.
interesting. So my warrior has very, very good hit points right now, and my hero does not. So we'll see how that plays out as we get into the grind.
So we are under leveled for this area of the game. So those enemies are a little dangerous, but so this is the pirate hideout. You would never know that because nobody talks about pirates in the speedrun, but we come down to this secret area and we find the red orb. Now that's a very important item which we will use much later in the game, but kind of the point of what we're going to do and about to do is we're going to collect 6 orbs from around the world, and that'll unlock something. So that's the first of the 6. But after that, we're gonna head up to Japan, which is, I guess we never really talked about the world map. This world map is actually set up like the map of the Earth. Each town is kind of representative of a different area and a different major landmark. Like Japan is Japan. Romilly is Rome, Aliahan is Australia, I believe. Dharma, which is the place we're about to go to, is India. So if you look at the map, like it is set up like the world map. You always get an encounter here. I don't care what anybody says.
I'll fight it, whatever.
Yeah, but it's kind of a nice touch.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're gonna, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, the world map thing is really cool, and something that you don't necessarily notice, especially in the speedrun. We don't even pick up the map, so you can't really see what the whole world looks like. When I first went into the Magic Ball Cave at the very beginning of the game, there was a treasure chest that I walked past and that had the world map in it. So we just
so you
no
may
reason
be
for it.
Maybe wondering why Haktical is just like walking into towns and then leaving immediately. Basically, we're just setting up return points for later in the game. Hit up Japan, hit up Dharma. We'll be going to both of those a little later. Dharma, pretty soon, actually.
Yeah,
and
it's
also
kind of
encounter canceling.
It's kind of a classic part of Dragon Quest RTA is that when you get the bow or whatever your method of transportation is, but typically the boat, you just you go around the world collecting extra items that you need, getting return points so that way you can move around more efficiently later. Sometimes fight stuff on the way. Basically, you get the return points while kind of improving your setup, and then once that's all done, you can move on to your next real goal. So our next goal for this is going to be the grind. So I'm going to be coming in here to Edinburgh. There's an item I need called the Thirsty Pitcher. There's also a couple items in chests, the flashy clothes and the slick suit, that are worth a ton of money. We'll be using the party dress on the thief for a little while, but the slick suit will sell. And then we're going to go back to Sue. We're going to do a bunch of shopping. We're going to get some items called poison moth powders, which we can throw at enemies to confuse them. And then we're going to go into the big metal slime grind. So the metal slime grind will take about half an hour, maybe a little bit more. It's usually about a 20-minute first half of the grind, and then a 10-minute second half. I guess that's not really half anymore, but you get what I mean.
Math is hard, all right?
And yeah, we'll be looking for lots of metal slimes, and the moth powders kind of changed their AI, so we'll throw them on metal slimes to prevent them from running away. We'll also throw them on other enemies to get them to attack the metals and kill them for us.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time to go into very in-depth detail about the grind. The grind is really interesting in this game because it's not just like hope and pray that the slime sticks around and you crit it. There's actually a whole lot of tech involved, so it'll be fun. It's a really actually exciting grind, and it's fun to watch. And if it goes well, it's really fun. There's a little glitch there with the English patch that Sue doesn't show up in the return menu for some reason. There's a blank spot, but you just click on the blank spot.
Speaking of metal slimes,
oh baby,
we've had a $50 donation from some Diener. Says, it's great to see my friend Haktical here with Dragon Quest 3. You know, I've never had the best marathon luck with this one. You know what they say? Independent events. I'm sure that it's fine. Best of luck. Oh, and here's a bonus. $10 more for each metal slime we kill with some needle.
Yeah.
Poison. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Big D.
Thanks, D.
We also have a donation from Ferris Wheel 31, $30. He says, usually, I like my credits to be sung by high spirits, but Haktical will do just fine. And with both of those donations, we have met the donation incentive to have Tactical sing the closing credits.
Very
Awesome.
nice. Thanks for all the donations, guys. Very cool.
Yeah, thanks. Everyone.
So real quick catch up what just happened. Haktical came into Sue and he bought a couple of weapons. They're the poison needles, which some Diener kind of alluded to there. He'll give those to the mage and the thief, and they have a chance to instantly kill enemies. It poisons them and they just die. And it works on metal slimes, so we're going to hope to see that a lot, because one, it's fast, and two, some Diener's going to have to give money. Speaking of metal slimes, there's our boys. So,
yeah, I'm not going to use any moth powders in this fight. My top priority is getting rid of these stupid navs. They confuse and surround you, which they just did to everybody.
Yeah. Get them, Linda.
Well, we got one metal slime. That's
nice.
actually really nice to get one outside here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Darko doesn't kill our whole team. And so we also picked up the Thunder Staff in Sue, which we can use as an item to cast the Firebane spell, and that is going to be extremely useful for this grind. So the mage will be using that a lot. It's a relatively slow animation, but it's really good against most enemies. It costs no MP. It hits an entire group.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, you'll be seeing that important. A lot.
Mm-hmm. Some of the enemies, like the moss inside the tower, are a little bit resistant to it. It's 75% to hit them. They're surprised. Okay.
What is this?
Let's get rid of these guys.
It's so funny because like this never happens, so Haktical doesn't know what to do. Like, it'd be the same situation for me. Be like, I don't what?
Yeah, you don't like grind on fights outside the tower. So some needle.
Oh my god! What? Hope you got paid this week, Diener. What is this? You're not even in the tower yet. You've killed 4 slimes.
Yeah, that's really nuts.
You can kill the warrior before you even get to the tower. I mean, why not?
I could.
That's outrageous. I mean, this is seriously unheard of. To kill 4 metal slimes before getting in the tower. That's just unbelievable luck. That's great.
Yeah.
Whatever. This game's dumb.
So this grind, the goal. So let's talk about the grind a little bit. Now that we can calm down. The first couple floors don't really have metal slime, so it's mostly just going to be clearing trash. So there's a few goals to this grind. The first goal is going to be to get my thief level 20, which will let us class change the thief, and we'll class change her into a sage. And then we'll leave. We'll go do some errands, and then we'll come back and get the mage level 21. And
does your warrior have 168 HP?
Probably, yeah.
That's unbelievable. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
it's very good.
Very good, this guy.
And so,
yeah, okay.
yeah. So anyway, that's where we're going to be going to. Is for this first part of the grind is thief level 20, but the grind is pretty dynamic in this game. So, kind of the more levels you get early, or like depending what level you are, changes a little bit how you're handling different encounter formations. What is this nonsense?
181 HP.
It's fine.
No, it's great. I've just never seen it. Anyway, so we're gonna go upstairs. Eventually, we'll get upstairs. He's getting a billion encounters here, and the metal slimes live upstairs. So we're gonna go up there and fight them. We're talking about the warrior's HP for a reason. Basically, we're gonna kill off some characters as we do this grind, because the less characters in the party, the more experience the other people get. So warrior is beyond where he needs to be. So once we get a good fight with some metal slimes, we're going to kill off the warrior here. Sorry, Darko.
Yeah, so the way experience works in this game is that it's divided by the amount of alive characters. So it's one of the only Dragon Quest games to do that. There's a couple others like DQ9 that have sort of some weird experience distribution, but so we'll be killing off characters throughout the grind in order to sort of funnel XP onto the characters who need it. The warrior we normally kill off somewhere in the 140 to 150 hit point range. Usually level 13 is when I kill him, but he's got very high hit points today.
Yeah. Just noticed that they added a sub-needle counter to the stream. That's pretty fantastic.
Awesome.
And we call it a sub-needle because Diener has the best luck. It's just kind of unbelievable how many instant kills he gets sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is the main floor we're going to be hanging out on, fighting the metal slimes.
Yeah, so we want to see lots of metal slimes, and they're actually like pretty common up here. The fight with the Sky Dragon and 7 metals is the most common metal slime encounter. It's like 18% of the encounters up here or something. It certainly doesn't feel that way when you're playing the game, but statistically, it's a very common fight, or a somewhat common fight. And but there are a lot of different formations here. So I was talking about it earlier, but the grind is really dynamic. There's a lot of different formations. The way that you handle them is going to vary based on your level. Actually, let's do this. What did I just do?
Did you just
do? It's fine.
All right, so he's going to be throwing these moth powders. They have a chance to confuse the metal slimes. They will always confuse the Garudas on the right, and they'll kind of attack each other, which is what we want. The Garudas will kill the metal slimes. Metal slimes will try to kill the Garudas, and we'll keep attacking the metal slimes while they do this. That's going to be like the basis for the whole grind, is confusing enemies, hoping they kill each other.
We're fine. I accidentally backed out of one of the menus earlier, and then I got myself confused because I was looking at the wrong character. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. We're only gonna get one.
So we're just going to get one, but better than 0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if a metal slime is confused, and if there is no other enemy on the screen, it'll always... yeah, we'll get him. It's fine.
No, I was hoping the Garuda was going to kill Darko.
Yeah.
See you, Darko.
So if a metal slime is confused and there's at least one other enemy on the screen, the metal slimes won't run away.
Mhm.
They'll always, if an enemy is confused, they'll always target another group. If there's another group, if there's only one group on the screen, it'll target something within that same group. And if it's the only enemy left alive, then its AI is normal. So we killed off our warrior to funnel XP like I was talking about. Oops. Reordered our party for a little bit more efficient order. And gonna heal up and then get back to grinding. So we're gonna be here for a while. Hope everybody gets comfy. I'm probably not gonna talk a tundra in this grind just because there kind of is a lot to pay attention to. It's pretty technical. It's very fast. You know, some RPG grinds are pretty mindless, but you know, I can't just sit here walking back and forth between two tiles fighting agamas or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Just
No, it's just not how this works.
yeah.
So
But
if you guys in chat, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say if chat has any questions or anything, this is a good time for it because we're gonna be here for a little while. It will go by pretty quick. He's off to a really good start. So, but if you guys have any questions or if you have anything to say, let us know, and we'll be happy to answer the questions. Other than that, no.
One thing I want to throw out there is I think the needle for the Sun Needle is a 1 in 16. So in terms of the counter, it's not like a very high probability outcome. Getting 2 in a row was very nice. So don't be surprised if we don't see very many more. But
Right.
since Diener is here, I believe in the run.
Oh baby, the boys. All right, we already got some questions. Favorite type of slime? I'm a Hagu boy. The metal babble, which is Hagure in Japanese, is my favorite slime.
I'm a big fan of the metal medleys in DQ9.
There we go. Warrior, will the warrior fall behind like this? So
Some
the
needle.
warrior's... Bam, look at this. Channeling his inner Diener, his inner Giga D. What was it? Oh, the warrior. So the warrior has really good HP, and that's really all that matters for him. So he'll be fine after we revive him. He'll catch up on levels, but basically we just want him to get to an HP threshold where he'll be safe in the next boss fight, and then kill him off because it's faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the warrior's hit point is going to be the most important thing at the very end of the game, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So this fight with 3 metals, you actually see that I'm not throwing any moth powders because it's pretty common to throw one and then like 2 run away and then the confusion just doesn't do anything. So I didn't throw any, and instead I got all 3 of them.
It's just silly. This is just silly. This is like a gold split grind.
How long have I been here? 11 minutes since I hit Dharma?
If that. You got into the tower at like 107-ish?
Yeah, I hit Dharma at 104, and I got a few medals outside, so... I don't know what my fastest grind is for this segment.
Hey, you equipped the barrette.
Yeah, I remembered.
Good job.
I think my fastest Sage half of the grind is maybe like 15 or 16 minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll beat that, but it's looking good. So the metal slimes, when there's 3 characters alive, are going to give... Metal slimes give, I think it's 4150 XP total or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact number. And then it's divided by the live characters. So 1300 a character, basically. He's surprised. Just run. And what we're looking for is just over 32,000. It's like 32,200 for level 20 on the Thief. And if we go a little bit over that, it's fine. We can go about 1 metal slime over that without causing an issue. We don't want to go too far over because when we class change, the character's level is going to be reset to level 1. So we want them to get as much XP as possible in the second part of the grind. So we don't want to go too far over. We want to hit level 14, basically, is the goal there.
The boys. Yeah, so the grind's divided into two parts, kind of like Haktical mentioned. The first goal is to get the thief to level 20, and once you're at level 20, you can grab the Book of Satori and change the thief to a sage. And then we'll come back after doing a couple of things and grind the mage warrior, or sorry, just a mage now. Mage warrior up to 21, where she has a chance to learn By-Kill.
Some needle.
My God. And so we'll learn By-Kill, and then we'll change the mage to a warrior, and then continue on with the game. Some needle. Up to 4 needles already.
Yep, let's go.
Yeah, this is a really solid grind.
Yeah, this is really good. It's good because it gives me more buffer in case something goes wrong at the end of the run.
Nothing's going to go wrong.
They're surprised.
Oh, the surprise!
Why would you say that? Oh, no.
I know.
It's
It's
fine. I'm not superstitious.
fine.
Independent events.
Independent events, Dina, right?
Everything's fine. Dog in firehouse gear. That being said, I do have to do a quick donation if you don't mind.
Oh, go for it.
Absolutely.
From Shadowy, who's donated $30 and said, I'm here to make sure Jude has a voice. Hasn't lost his voice box somewhere in Philangia. I think this is obvious, but it goes towards Jude having voice on for Wild Arms 4. Wild Arms 4 being the next donation incentive that is kind of being run now, since we've seen the credits. Currently, Jude's voice is going to be on, sitting at $60, and his voice off is sitting at $35. That will be a rolling donation incentive, so that is not fixed. So that can go either way.
Very cool. This is the worst fight ever.
It's
I
fine.
can't stand this fight. But, so, my God, Mario's already at level 19, so we're almost done.
This might be the last fight of the grind.
Which is just crazy.
Of this part of the grind.
Right, for the first part of the grind.
Oops. Already had the dagger equipped.
So do I have time for another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We have $200, a double hump from one of our own volunteers, the Sid, who says, hey everyone, it is time for my yearly donation. Bumped it up just a little bit this year because I've got no travel costs. Been a bit of a rough one this year, isn't it? I hope everyone's doing well. In tough times like these, we tend to be even more vulnerable to mental distress, even those that have no mental illness. There is no shame in feeling depression and anxiety. Please don't be afraid to ask for help. No one should need to feel alone. My family, and especially my brother, have always been there for me in those dark times, and for that I owe them so much. With that said, this donation is in memory of my brother Will, who I spent countless hours watching play video games. Without him, I wouldn't have found my way to this wonderful community. Much love to all the volunteers who've set up this event to give us the reprieve we so desperately need. That is an amazing sentiment, Sid. Thank you so much. I miss you, brother. Can't wait to see you in person. Give you a good, big, in-person hug. I love you, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sid.
Thanks, Sid.
Yeah, Sid does a lot of work behind the scenes at the RPG Limit Break events, so he's a big part of the community. Thank you again, Sid. And yeah, that was an incredible Sage grind, by the way. You saw Haktical. Go ahead, man. Yeah, I got nothing. That was
No. All I was going to say is 17 minutes from Dharma to Sage class change is... I don't want to say it's the fastest grind I've ever had, but it wouldn't be far off.
It's on English batch. How's that make you feel?
I mean, for the grind, that's fine. It's the same.
Yeah.
Combat's no real. Well, I guess like healing outside of combat's a little bit slower, but in general, combat doesn't change for the patch. One side effect of the grind, a little bit, it's a little funny, is I actually have a little bit low money, and I'm gonna do this for fun. I'm gonna go grab Ortega's helmet. It's gonna be a little slow in the English patch, but if you come over here, there's a guy you can talk to. There's a helmet sitting on that counter there, and if you talk up here, you can kind of follow the dialogue, but you basically tell them that you're Ortega's son, and and then then they give you his helmet.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna equip that helmet and use it for the rest of the game, right?
We're gonna stick it in the bag and then sell it.
Yeah.
Later. So it's gonna give us some extra cash. I mostly wanted to do it to show off the cutscene, because it's a pretty cool piece of lore. But the money for it will be useful.
So we haven't really talked about the plot of this game at all. Ortega is the hero's father. Just so everybody knows, he was sent off to fight Baramos to kill the evil. He got killed in a volcano, which you saw at the beginning of the game, the cutscene of him fighting a wyvern or whatever. And apparently he stopped in this town at some point and left his helmet, and then they gave it to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
and I mean,
coming up. Oh, good.
I was just gonna say that, like, that plot description was pretty short, and it's basically the same thing I said when we talked to the King of Lehan at the beginning of the game. But really, like, that's the plot so far. That's really all you know about the game. Oops. I'm gonna focus on this menu.
Okay. Yeah, this is the worst menu in the game. It's really not that bad, but it does take some concentration. So I'm gonna just explain what just happened. We went to Moor there, the town, used the inn just to heal up, grabbed a couple of things, and we came up here to these shoals, and we used the thirsty pitcher. And the thirsty pitcher, yeah, that's the word.
It is. I like that word.
They use it in DW3, and I've always remembered that since I was a kid. Anyway, so you use the thirsty pitcher, and this island pops out, and the island has the final key, which is the key that unlocks all of the doors in the game. So we grabbed that. We rearranged some equipment, since we have the Sage now. Gave her the heavy metal ring, or the Rockstar ring, which increases defense. And we're going to head back in and grind a little bit more. We may kill off the hero. I don't know if Haktical is going to or not.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead.
I was going to say that, like, so the hero you can kind of kill off whenever you choose to in this run. Usually you want the hero to learn the stop spell, which is at either 18 or 19, depending on if you get lucky or not. I didn't actually see if the hero learned it at 18. I can check in combat. I don't usually let that be a deciding factor for me. It's not a big deal if he doesn't learn it. But if I get a good Metal Slime fight, I'll kill him off. Otherwise, his hit points aren't super great, so I don't mind him getting another level or so.
So I've just received word that we should apologize to High Spirits for that luck. He never sees it like that.
It's hard to explain how good that grind was compared to the average grind. Like, it wasn't like, don't get me wrong, there have been better grinds, but for a marathon, that was just, Darko's silly, but that was just incredible for a marathon run. I mean, it's incredible for any run, to be honest, but
yeah, I'd certainly take it in a PB attempt.
Yeah, right?
So
better than mine. PB.
The second half of this grind, the goal is the buy kill spell. So at level 21, the mage has a 50% chance of learning buy kill. And is never guaranteed to learn buy kill. So you get level 21 at 45676 XP. So what I'm hoping to do is get very close to level 21, save the game, and then push myself over to save scum, basically. And if I get a big metal fight, it is possible for me to accidentally push myself over and have to go to 22. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. But if it does, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, the first grind is fast enough that it's not really a problem.
Stop using Firebane.
This isn't really ideal. I'm gonna actually heal the hero, or heal the saving you.
Got one.
Yeah, this one's confused, so we'll get 2 out of it. Pretty good.
All right.
Should see if the hero stop spell. Nope. All right, we'll keep the hero alive.
He's guaranteed to learn it at 19, right?
Yeah, I think technically it depends on wisdom, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's guaranteed. So the other thing I wanted to say earlier was, Countess already talked about it in chat, but the way a lot of early DQ games, and this one in particular, work, this is what I was going to talk about at the final key menu, is that typically the main plot is very simple and straightforward, and much of the game is about going from town to town, helping out with like every town, every area's own kind of individual problems. We got 15 HP off of that level, so I'm glad that I got Hero 19 there.
All right, so did he learn stop spell? I didn't even see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll probably kill off Hero if we get a nice metal grind fight. Although, depending on how many medals we get, we might be... Oh, we're still 19. Never mind.
Yeah, I have gone from 19 to 21 before.
Sure.
It's a little bit less than 8,000 XP away for through level 20. So 4 metal slimes with only 2 characters alive can technically do it if you're really close, or if you get like 5 medals or something. But
nice.
We're not close enough to worry about that. I hope.
You may want to keep Hero alive.
Nah, we're fine.
All right. What's that, Bob? What you got?
I got a $25 donation from Kaylor, who says, "It looks like everything's coming up metal!"
Very true. Thanks for the donation.
And for those of you who are donating, I do want you to know that all of the money that we are raising here, Quest for Glory, Hope and Healing, is going towards NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We could talk all day about how important mental illness and treatment is, but I will just say that we understand that it's 2020 and that there's some stuff going on in the world right now, and now more than ever, it's time to be aware of that for yourself and for others. So don't be afraid to reach out if you need to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, NAMI does good work.
Plenty of organizations, and especially NAMI, obviously, that can help you. And if you need help, reach out. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing to be ashamed of. No stigma, as NAMI says.
Yeah, feel free to head to the website, which is nami.org. Feel free to reach out on social media using the hashtag #NotAlone or @NamiCommunicate on Twitter. You'll find the same on Instagram, just NAMI on Facebook. They have a Tumblr page, notalone.nami.org. They even have a helpline, 0800 950 6264, which isn't just for those who need help themselves. It will be able to give you the information you need if you're worried that someone you know is suffering. Please take the time to reach out. The world is a better place with you in it. Enough said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. So I think I'm choosing for this grind to just keep the hero alive at this point.
At this point,
that one big fight would have been really nice, but the the metal slime died, and then the hero's attack retargeted to the Garudas and killed both of them in one swing. So we're less than 4,000 XP away at this point, so the hope is going to be to get 2 metal slimes and then bounce out of here and save.
There they are.
We'll throw a powder.
Bounced out of here. Was that a slime pun?
Not intentionally, but sure.
No.
I'm all about the slime puns.
If you're into puns, play the DS versions of the Dragon Quest games. 'Cause they love them.
Yeah, they've got some good ones.
I hate you. This boy. You're gonna get 3 slimes.
Nope,
no,
I
you're
don't
not.
want 3.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say. All right.
Looking forward to the donations being oozing with puns.
All right, what do I got? I'm
1,000 away.
yeah.
So he's got a couple of choices. Did you learn Snowstorm?
Like 700 away.
I think you did.
I honestly wasn't paying attention, but it's
Okay.
fine. The bears are perfect.
Yeah.
I
So
think.
depending on how much experience you need, there's a couple of different places you can go to get certain experience. Japan is one option. Edinburgh is another option. Or you can just fight outside of Dharma. But this should be just about perfect, to be honest. Yeah.
Yep. So what
So
I'm going
he's
to do now
gonna-
is I'm going to save the game, and then it'll tell us how much XP I need, but then I'm just going to fight stuff outside of Dharma until I get the by-kill spell. And if I don't get it, I will reset and take the level again. 162 away. So it's very nice.
Mm-hmm. So, like we said, at level 21, Mage has a chance to learn by kill. Hopefully, we get it first try. It's 50%, so it's just a coin toss. I've seen it first try. I've seen it 5th try. I've seen it never happen. All right, Linda, you're the smart mage, right?
First try.
The smartest mage. My God.
Easy peasy. So for what it's worth,
So nice.
I would take this time without any major complaints in a grind on the Japanese version, like in a race chart, not a PBA chart, but like in a race chart. I would take a 134 Mage Warrior.
Better, is it better? It's better than my PB, so yeah, why not?
Can I ask a stupid question?
There are
Of
no
course.
stupid questions here, Bob.
I will put that to the test. Don't you worry. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat referring to this as Dragon Quest 3 SFC.
Yes, sir.
What does the SFC stand for?
That stands for Super Famicom.
Ah.
This game was never released in the West on Super Nintendo. It was only released on the Super Famicom.
So this is an English fan translation patch that I'm playing on an SD2 SNES.
And does that slow down the runtime?
It does, by about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
So dialogue on the overworld, things like picking up items from a chest or using items from your inventory, trading them around, that all draws much more slowly. The combat speed is exactly the same. There's no character by character progression in combat. So, Clear Tonic did some stats on it a while ago, and he estimated 5 to 10 minutes. Really, it depends on how the run goes. So the more you have to heal and buy and revive characters, so the worse luck you get, kind of the more the slowness compounds. But 10 minutes is a reasonable estimate.
Mm-hmm.
So we finished up our...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to talk about what we're doing now. So we finished up our grind, and now, Shadow Killer was talking earlier about the red orb that I picked up in the pirate hideout, and how we're going to need to collect 6 of them. And so that's kind of what we're back to doing. There's going to be a couple of side quests we need to do. There are some hidden throughout the world. There'll be some bosses to fight. But, so this cave here has both a good piece of armor that we can pick up, which also sells for a lot of money, the Gaia armor, or Terra armor, and also the blue orb, which we'll need for to progress the game.
I was just going to quickly say, we were talking about the English version of this game, or the English translation. It's actually really a very good translation. So if you do want to play this game, it's pretty easily accessible. But other than that, you'll see Haktical open up his menu and cast the tiptoe spell. We kind of talked about this earlier, but that's going to reduce the depletion. So he's just going to get less encounters, which is very helpful, especially since Sage is by herself right now.
Yeah, the Sage very much becomes the most important character to keep alive when going through dungeons because of that. It's important to keep everybody alive. You don't really have any means of reviving characters in this game, really until the very end of the game. So it's important to keep characters alive in general, but the Sage, if the Sage is alive, you can pretty much get through most things that show up.
All right, so there's our blue orb that we came in here for. Hoppy asked why we only have one character. It's kind of like a test of courage, this little cave, so you have to go in alone. It's just part of the game. All right, so we got our second orb. We're just going to go on and get our third orb, which is going to be down south here. We're going to quickly stop off at a shrine on our way, revive our dead warrior and dead hero. Equip that armor that we just got on the warrior, and be on our way to the next town, which is Tedanki. I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yep.
And Tedanki is an interesting town, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But we want it to be nighttime when we get there. We talked about how towns are different during day and night, and this one in particular is very different from day to night. So you'll see that here in just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And then Tedanki's going to have... I'm going to pick up a life seed in there, and there's the green orb, and there's a couple other items that I'll find in some treasure chests. There's an optional buy that you can do there. You can optionally buy the magic skirt, which is an armor item that you can give to the mage warrior, which helps protect against magic damage. I'm going to skip it in this run, but it's not a bad idea to pick up, especially if you're learning the game, or even if you're just doing more aggressive runs in general. It does add a little bit of safety, but it kind of depends. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but depending on how the grind goes, if the grind is slower, where you kill more junk, then you end up with more gold. So you're able to buy a little bit more like safety or optional items. But since the grind went pretty well, my gold is like pretty average right now. And I did pick up Ortega's helm, but I'd rather put the extra money towards getting more wizard rings in a little while. So I'm skipping the magic skirt.
So this is Tedanki, and we went down into the basement there, where there were some coffins, and stole a life nut from it. And then we went up and talked to the guy in jail, and he gave us the green orb, and we took the inn, and now everybody's gone. Nobody to be found in this town except for this skeleton. So basically the gimmick of this is that everybody here is dead, and they only come alive at night. So you have to be here at night to get the orb. And Haktical picked up the darkness lamp, which is a really cool item, which instantly changes day to night when you use it. There is a spell later that we won't learn called Day-Night that does the same thing. But since we're not going to get high enough level to learn that, we get that item instead.
Yeah, and the darkness lamp is useful for a couple reasons. One is that there's a couple places where it's useful for advancing required story triggers. We'll see it pretty soon before the boss troll, where it has to be night. And the other reason is that we can use it on the overworld to act as an encounter cancel, similar to entering in a cave or something like that. So you'll see both of those uses for the lamp. It's a very good item for the speedrun. And
all right,
there's one other thing that I was thinking of, and now it's gone.
Love it. So we
has made good on his promise, by the way. I've got a $50 donation that says, for some needles, super extra bonus $10 for that first trade buy, kill 2. Gosh, I love this run.
This run is super good. I'll match Diener's donation too after this run for the same thing. Something fun to put towards. Yeah, so we're coming up on the town of Seminosa here. When you get to this town, you find out that they're holding a funeral, and people have been kind of like mysteriously dying, and the king's been acting all weird, and kind of supposed to just like find out why. So you come over to this cave over here, and we're gonna get an item called the Mirror of Ra. And if anybody's played DQ games before, it shows up in quite a few of them. So you might have an idea of what it does, but you'll see that in a little bit. I could have chosen to use a Chimera Wing. Something we didn't mention earlier is that using a Chimera Wing always sets time of day to morning. So I could have used it to make it daytime, so that way I could use the darkness lamp on that walk to the cave and probably not found that encounter, but the odds of getting an encounter there aren't super great.
No, we're not? Or is it,
What?
am I wrong? The thing to the left there.
We're getting it. It's fine.
Oh, okay, all right. So, there's something fun in this cave we're gonna grab. Oh, I didn't realize that was the best way to do it. I always went the other way.
This is for my boy, the Countess.
Yeah. Shoutouts to the Countess. So, because the grind went so well, and we've got a little extra time, we're going to grab this, which is the plush suit, which we're going to equip, and it's going to change our character's appearance, and it's going to be fun, and people will enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got the Mirror of Ra. We're going to head back to Samanosa, do some shopping, hit the inn, is always in.
I'm not going to.
I don't know if I knew you weren't, but I always do. And then we're going to figure out what's going on in this town and fix it, because we're heroes and that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. I'll equip that item before boss troll. I'm going
Nice.
to be using some seeds and having to do some stuff in the menu anyway, so picking up a couple of extra safety seeds here. There would be an option to go to Romilly. There's a chest in the basement in Romilly with an assassin dagger that sells for a ton of money. But since I picked up Ortega's helmet, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, there aren't a whole lot of quote-unquote safety strats in this game, but there are items that you can pick up for extra money, which you can use to buy better equipment or more of a certain item. But as far as like playing it super safe, that doesn't really happen in this game all that much. Obviously, there are a few things you can do, but the route's pretty strict.
Another question for the layman among us that aren't as familiar with the run or with the game. The seeds and the nuts that you're picking up, what do they actually do?
So they increase specific stats. So he picked up an agility seed and a strength seed there. He'll use the strength seed on the warrior, the agility seed on the sage, and it just increases your base agility stat. Some of them, like the stamina seeds, will affect HP growth later when you get levels up. But for the most part, it's just a small boost to your stats.
Yeah, and the important one to keep track of is actually the life nuts. So those, because of the way HP is calculated, if you use them, kind of any benefits you get from them are lost on level up, because the game will always try to keep your hit points to be about double your stamina. So we're going to be saving the life nuts for the very end of the game and using them right before the final boss after we've gotten all of our levels. To kind of adjust whoever isn't quite at the HP threshold that I want to be at. All the rest of the seeds I'm just going to be using as I pick them up.
Yeah.
Follow-up question.
So, go
these
ahead.
bonuses get deleted when you class change.
So the way stats work when you class change is you get half of what your stats were of the first class. So when the thief changed to the sage, all of her stats were halved, and you get those for the class change. So as long as it's a permanent change to your stat before you class change, it is just part of that half. They don't get taken away when you class change. Plush suit.
All right, so our sage now looks like a cat. That is the plush suit. And the sage will use that for a while, and then we'll stick it in the bag. So you want to talk about the boss troll fight and how
I
he's
would
dumb?
love to talk about this dumb fight. So this is the boss troll. Our hero and warrior are going to use stop spell to keep him from casting defense. Then they're going to defend. Okay, and we're just going to buff because he's very strong, very, very strong, and also has a chance to crit. If he crits, most people are going to die. Didn't crit. So we're doing pretty good so far. We're going to keep, buffing. And we're actually going to use by kill, which increases the attack power. I don't know if we talked about what by kill does. Increases your character's attack power. Linda, don't do it. And we're actually going to use that on the boss troll. And you may think, why would you want to make this enemy stronger? And the reason we do that is because when you have by kill activated, you can't crit. So the crits are the scariest part of this fight. So as long as you can get by kill off on the troll before he crits, it's a lot easier fight. I'm not going to say it's free, because he can still hit you for ridiculous amounts of damage, even when you buff your characters 4 or 5 times. His attack range is something like 4 to 40. It doesn't make any sense. We don't really know why it's this way. But looks like Haktikal's got a good setup going. He should be all right. He's going to use Sap, which is going to hopefully lower boss troll's defense, but it never works on the boss trolls, so we're just going to continue on. He'll probably try again, would be my guess, but at a certain point, you kind of just have to let it go and just keep fighting.
I disagree. Just keep stamina until the fight's over with.
It's silly. It's silly. I think it's a 30% chance for Sap to work, but once again, it never does. Oh, he went first.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
See you, Linda. Dang. It's not that big a deal that Linda died. She did what she needed to do. She got her by kills off. And Boss Troll does not give that much experience, so she'll make it up coming up in the next fights. Again, it would be better if she didn't die because it's, a couple extra levels or whatever, but not that big a deal. Pretty average Boss Troll fight. No crits, which is the important part. And he's down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thankfully, we're also going to the place that's the fastest place to revive at next. So reviving isn't really going to cost that much.
Zap is a spell. It's a different spell.
Yeah.
Sap and Zap.
Yes, Sap lowers the enemy's defense to 0, I think.
Try from Team Order with donation total right now of 3456111. Nice try.
Somebody can be a legend.
Nice try, Team Order, but Team Chaos, you got to stay on this. Don't let them get that 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't let them get it. And that was put in place by K Fizzle 4, who donated $20 and said, "Even more Dragon Quest prizes? Take my money."
Absolutely.
Well, we
Give
won't
us your money.
Not taking your money, but okay.
So Haktical just quickly stopped in the town of No Annuals. It's cursed. They're all asleep. Who cares? We're never going to see them again. There's a side quest.
So I'm going to donate $10 for every failed change staff. So it's a 2 in 7 chance here to get what I want. So
that's 2.
Only 2. So I'll tack that on to the 50 that I'm matching for Dieners.
So we're in this.
So far.
We're in the elf town here, and the elves they don't like outsiders, but they do like slimes, and they do like dwarves. So we use the chain staff to change into one of those so we can shop here. The elf town sells some very specific equipment that is very helpful. Most notably, the sleep staves, which when used in battle cast sleep on the enemies, which we will use the entire rest of the run. And they also sell prayer rings, or wizard rings, that when used in or outside of battle restore some HP, but also have a 10% chance to break every time you use them. So the more of those we have, the better. Haktical had a good amount of money, so got everything he needed. Alright. Quick little menuing, pass the staves along, switch some equipment around. And we're going to go back to our favorite place, Edinburgh.
When you don't know where to go, it's always Edinburgh.
It's always Edinburgh.
This is the point in the run where, like, when I was learning the game, there are 2 times that you really return here. One is after the darkness lamp, and then one is right now. And up to the darkness lamp, it's like a good mental break in the run. So I'm never thinking. I was never thinking about what to do next, and so I'd always forget where to go. And then this one, I always thought that the menu in Elftown there was like more complicated than it really is. So I would always like be so focused on menuing that correctly that I would end up forgetting where to go.
I always think there's more to that menu than there is.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the key things about like getting consistent at this game is just kind of learning like what you're comfortable with. And you know, for a race strat like this, I'm certainly picking up more seeds and doing a little bit of things different than I normally would, but try to do as much as possible in the same order. Have characters' inventories laid out the same way. That way you're doing the same thing every time, and you really drill that muscle memory. There is a ton of time to be saved and lost in just execution of menus in this game. It's honestly absurd. I can't understate enough how difficult it is to be very good at it. I'm not very good at it. I'm good.
But if you watch somebody like Darko, it's inhuman how fast he does menus. It's just silly. But real quick, catch up what we just did. So we got the change staff from the boss troll. We used it to shop in the elf town. And then we took it to that old man on the island and we traded it for a bone, the sailor's bone. Then we just went to Romilly, and there's a ghost ship or evil ship or something floating around down there. We went on the ship and got the lovely memories. Now, the reason we got that is because apparently there's a cursed area of the ocean that's been blocked by this sailor because his girlfriend died in the sea and it's terrible, everything's bad. So we picked up those lovely memories which will break the curse. So we're going down to Cape Olivia here, as it's called, because that's where she died. And we're going to use the lovely memories and break the curse.
I feel like I should be fighting a couple of junk things like this to get Linda a couple levels. Linda normally gets to like level 7 off of boss troll. And she didn't because she's dead, or was dead.
It would seem that Team Chaos has come through for me. Team Chaos, you've done your job. We're at 3,457,967. Thank you so much. We've had 3 donations in. One from A Smith 1313, who says, "Keep up the good runs," and donates $5. Thank you very much. And then 2 donations of $6.78, both trying to snipe the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably costing yourself that total.
That's funny.
Taylor says someone ordered 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then Lance donates the same amount and said, "Bob said it, so it had to be done." You fools! You played into my trap. Team Chaos will rule forever.
Very nice. Thank you guys for the donations. All right. So
High Spirits commenting in chat that there are no stinky cheeses in the Japanese restream, so means Pop Chat must not be around.
Yeah, I know, right? But
shout outs again to the Japanese restream. Countess joked about it a little bit in his DW4 run that this is the national sport of Japan, and you know that's obviously a little excessive. This game is incredibly popular in Japan. There are
hundreds.
There are over 200 runs on the Nico leaderboard. That's not counting people who run on Twitch or YouTube or anything else. Nico is only people who stream on Nico. There are like 217 times, I think, when I last looked on the Nico board for this game, which is, for an RPG, is just absurd.
Crazy, yeah.
We're giving massive shout outs to the Japanese restream, but there's also a French restream going on as well. Big shout outs to the folks over there as well, because
Mm-hmm.
they came in hard for Final Fantasy 15 and a bunch of other donation incentives. So thank you very much to everyone over in the French restreams as well.
Absolutely.
My French is incredibly rusty, but merci beaucoup.
Yes, thank you to the French restream as well, of course. One thing I see people in chat talking about needing a sub 4 to get on the Nico leaderboard. I don't actually think that's the case anymore. It used to
Not
be.
anymore, no.
But they did go through some small revisions a while back. But that definitely used to be the case.
All right, so another quick catch up. After we used the lovely memories and broke the curse, we got the Gaia sword, which we just threw into a volcano, which causes it to erupt. That was Mount Dorito. And then the lava pours out, turns the water into land, so we can walk across and make our way to the Necrogond. Or the cave to the Necrogond, I guess I should say. We're going to take some fights. It's going to be a lot of sleep. It's going to be a lot of... I don't know. This part is kind of scary, to be honest.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Luckily, most things can be put to sleep. Some other things can be expelled. But a lot of these fights, if you don't know what you're doing, can go wrong very, very quickly. So it's better just to play it safe, get the experience, and have a slower fight than somebody dying.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be probably fighting almost everything I run into in the Necrogond here and outside of it. In a PB attempt, I'd be a little bit picky with what I take.
Mhm.
I'd probably have considered trying to run from that fight that I just fought. It's hard to say. Like, a lot of the fights here are can be scary, but they're also kind of slow to fight. So, but especially with the mage dying to boss troll, I want the mage to catch up. And just in general, I'd like to have a little bit more XP.
Yeah. As you can see, the mage warrior got like 8 levels up off that one fight, so she's doing all right. Nice. Everybody's asleep. Nice, Kaishin. Was that the hero punching?
It is.
We had $10 donations from T9999 UK, who says, I'm loving the week so far. Got to try and make that Final Fantasy VI run all characters stroke espers. Now, for those of you who don't know, the finale is going to be Final Fantasy VI, which is currently scheduled to be an any percent glitchless run. But there is a donation incentive to upgrade that run to 100% glitchless, all characters, all espers, which is currently sitting at $409.08.
Hagu. 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 Hagu.
Wow.
All right. Sorry, Bob. Let me just interrupt for just a second.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
So first off, I've never seen a Hagu in this cave during a run. They're really rare. A Hagure is basically 10 metal slimes all crammed into one little enemy, and they always run away right away. But of course, we got a Kaishin. Was that Maru? Who got the Kaishin?
Yeah.
Maru. Thank you, Maru-san, for the Kaishin. Holy cow, that's huge. That's so good. So good. It's so much safety for the rest of the run. Oh my god. And this is the best place to get it, too. There are other places where you can find Hagure, but this is by far the best. Holy cow.
They can show up in a few places. So there's that small little shrine that we went to Samanosa through. They've got a 0.1% chance of showing up there or something dumb. A very small chance of showing up here.
And just for the uninitiated, the Kaishin.
Oh, Kaishin's a critical hit. Kaishin no Ichigeki is the Japanese for a critical hit.
Mm-hmm. And they can show up in Baramos' castle, but usually it's a trap because they show up with a bunch of junk. And then they can show up in the Dark World. And sometimes you get 1 or 2 in the Dark World. Most runs get none.
Yeah.
And getting 1 now means I've got all of that extra HP. Oops. And MP. And agility. And, just general stats for Orochi, but more specifically for Baramos, which is going to be the most difficult, not necessarily the most likely to kill you, but the most complex boss fight in the game, and probably the most likely to kill you.
Yeah.
Which will be coming up in not too much longer. So, yeah, that I don't think I've ever had a liquid metal slime before Baramos, much less here. These turtles are dumb. I'm not going to fight this. Look at these HP. Look at this HP. I have over 200 on the warrior.
226. Darko is beefy.
So what you're telling me is this is a world record incoming, right?
No.
World
maybe
record
an English
is
patch world record. Could be, to be honest.
World record is possibly in Zoma's castle right now.
Yeah,
if
they're
not
in the final castle right now.
If not, very close to it.
Yeah. My goodness.
They're surprised. Cool.
See ya. This guy was worried about this run. I just want you guys to know that.
I just want to let you know that I'm still worried about this run. It is not over until it's over with. I can talk about how important this is and how much of a difference it makes, but in the
Baramos be Baramos.
Well, I'm more worried about the end game than Baramos at this point.
Okay.
Bonus in Zoma's castle. So I'm gonna go take an in since I got all that extra MP. I did a bunch of healing.
Yeah, about a 145 could be world record pace for Baramos. Yeah. Low 140s. Actually, high 140s, right? I don't know. I'd have to look. I know Darko's been on pace with a 154. Baramos.
Yeah, I would think 150 somewhere, but honestly not completely sure.
Yeah, it happens so rarely that it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean...
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go for it.
All right, I'll just quick catch up what we're doing. Sorry, I freaked out about the Hagure. That was just crazy. We went through the Necrogon, went to the shrine, got the silver orb, and then we came back to Japan. If you were to talk to the people, they talk about how Himiko, who's kind of like the leader, is acting a little weird. Something's going on. You go through the cave, and there's this Hydra sitting here. So we're going to fight Orochi, the 8-headed, 5-headed dragon. This first fight, I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. We're just going to use increase, use sap, use buy kill on the warrior and hero, hit him pretty hard, and move on. It's not a tough fight, but things can go wrong. Orochi has 3 different attacks. He can just physically attack. He also has 2 breath attacks. One is a weak breath attack, which... Go ahead.
Only
the second one only
attack.
have... Okay, only 1 breath attack on this one. And... which does 30 damage to each person. And he also attacks twice every round. So 2 breath attacks twice in a row can be kind of bad, but with his HP lines, it's totally okay. That was a pretty quick fight. And you get the Orochi sword as a drop. So we're going to equip that on the mage warrior. As you see, Orochi goes into that portal and disappears. So we're going to follow after him. Yeah.
Big MP from that wizard ring too.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. So yeah, only 1 breath attack, only a strong breath in the first Orochi fight. Mm-hmm. The second Orochi fight always takes 2 actions per turn, and does have a weak breath that is a 1 in 8 chance of using.
So here's Himiko. We followed Orochi through the portal, but he's nowhere to be found. And turns out Himiko is actually Orochi.
I'm so surprised.
Plot twist.
And horror.
Yeah.
The second, world leader that turns out to be an evil monster.
Imagine that.
After boss troll.
curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
I think we'll call it your grave.
Yeah.
So this fight is more or less the same as the first one. Orochi does have that weak breath attack that I talked about before. Yeah, so increase defense, buy kill to increase attack power. Sage is going to heal. Everybody else is going to smack with their weapons and take down Orochi.
There we go. Finally landed sap.
All right.
Only took 3 tries.
Big shout outs to Plush Mayhem in chat, who has provided 2 of the prizes for this run. The 2 slime plushes, which are absolutely stunning. If you want to get a look at them, head over to their Twitter, twitter.com/plushmayhem, PLUSHMAYHEM. Is there all the plushes that they've made are absolutely beautiful. They did some for some other runs as well, just absolutely brilliant.
So Orochi's being kind of rude here. A lot of strong flame breath. What we want to see are those attacks. But he goes down. Nobody died. That's fine.
Yeah, Orochi must have had some spicy curry for dinner or something. Yeah, nice and smooth so far. No real problems.
What can go wrong now?
So from this Orochi fight, we get the purple orb. And this will be the 5th orb that we have. And the last one is going to be from our merchant friend that we created at the start of the game, P. Mario. Shoutouts to Purple Mario at 920.
Yes.
And
this is actually... Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I remember as a kid, I loved this part of the game with the merchant town. I thought it was really cool and creative about how there's like this town you get to be part of as it builds. And then, I mean, events unfold and it's a little different. But I always loved this part. It's not as exciting in the speedrun.
I should mention that for those, if you want to be put in for either the dark blue slime or the metal slime or the Dragon Quest 11 copy, all 3 of them are a minimum donation of $5. Just $5. And if you've seen those plushes or if you've played Dragon Quest 11, just $5 is an absolute bargain. It's a Billy bargain.
Definitely, yeah. Check out those plushes. Check out the other prizes. And donate some money to help NAMI out. Great organization, guys. That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Donate your money.
Yes.
So,
all right.
Walking here was actually a little bit scary because our merchant's level 1. So, the merchant actually has like a reasonable chance of dying on this walk if you get a random encounter. We didn't get one, which is normal. So we give our merchant to this old guy who wants to start a town here and needs a merchant to help him do it. And there are a few various triggers throughout the game that kind of affect whether this can progress. Things like beating boss troll, for example. I don't know all the triggers off the top of my head, but basically at this point we've accomplished all the triggers. We can do this all at once while we're here. Whereas if you're playing casual, you might find this and drop off a dealer and have to kind of come back throughout the game and see where it's at. And the merchant ends up building up this town, and it's a big successful town. But we're going to come down here and talk to these guys or listen in on their conversation, where it seems that they're not really happy about how this place is being run. Purple Mario's become a little bit of a tyrant, running this town into the ground.
Classic Purple Mario.
And if we talk to this dude at the entrance here, he'll say this is the town of P. Marioburg, but it's not just P. Mario's town anymore, because they've kind of taken her and thrown her in jail. But if you go talk to her, she says, hey, I left something behind my throne, and you find the yellow orb, which is the last one we needed.
Yep. So thank you for your service, Purple Mario. I know, people donated for, I think it was Countess donated for naming the merchant Purple Mario. So we're gonna, extend that a little bit coming up here, just to honor Purple Mario a little bit more. But Haktical will do that in just a minute. But first, we've collected all the 6 orbs. We come up here to the shrine, and we're gonna put those orbs in their pedestals and get Ramia, which if you've played this game or quite DQ8, I think, has Ramia in it. You know who that is. It is the god bird, which we can use to fly around the world. Traditionally, for the speedrunners, this is your only break in the run. So I don't know if Haktical's going to stand up and stretch or anything like that.
No,
But okay, cool. Once you put the orbs in, the egg starts to hatch. We'll talk to the shrine keepers there, and you've got because we use turbo, we can just turn turbo on, and you've got about a minute to stand up, stretch, use the restroom, whatever. But this is like the only break in the game, so enjoy the cutscene.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to point out, it's been obvious throughout this whole run, but Dragon Quest is a series that's relatively consistent in that they reuse a lot of themes throughout the series. So things like collecting the orbs, things like the legendary bird as a method of transportation, a lot of the music that's used for the bow and the bird and various town music. You will see that kind of recur throughout the entire series. So if you've played a later DQ game, DQ8, DQ11, you probably say, hey, I recognize picking up orbs and getting birds and things like that. Yeah, so
yeah,
this
they do
game
a really
kind
good
of
job of keeping the nostalgia going.
Speaking of nostalgia, outside of
Yes.
DQ, there's this other really cool game you may have heard of called Chrono Trigger.
I have heard of that game.
Yeah, I think I've played that.
Yeah,
1, 2, 10 times.
Right, I hear it's pretty good. Well, we've got an amazing run of that coming up later on by Poexel. And there is a donation incentive to go alongside that I really want to let everybody know about, which is there is a donation incentive for a bonus run of Chrono Trigger New Game Plus, in which 840 rigs will beat Chrono Trigger in less than 10 minutes. So if you want to see that, the goal is $1,000. And we're currently sitting at $306.40 on that one. So you've got time on it, but let's try and smash that. I want to see that beat in 10 minutes. So
I agree. That's very cool. The New Game Plus run.
I'm not Shadow Killer. No, that Shadow.
I am not Bob. Let's make this as confusing as possible.
And I'm not Cheetah either.
Yeah.
Me.
All right, so I just popped into Dharma real quick. There's an NPC over here that lets you rename characters in your party. And I renamed our bag to P. Mario since Purple Mario didn't really get a whole lot of screen time as the dealer. I thought it'd be fitting to rename the dealer into or the bag into the dealer's name.
The bag is a character?
No, it's just a bag to hold items.
Oh, you just renamed your bag. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
The person that you talk to, the priest, says, "That's just a bag, silly." Okay, everybody makes mistakes, and then lets you just rename it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea you could rename the bag either until Haktical was doing practice runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did a practice run with all Jeffs, just to be prepared for whatever donations decided to throw at me. So I had 4 Jeffs in a bag named Jeff, and it was a good time.
I'm surprised we've not run into the Jeff reverse yet.
Yeah, thank God. All right, so quick catch up on what's going on. We got Ramia the bird, and we're doing a couple of quick tasks before going on to fight Baramos, who is the great evil of this game. First off, we stopped at Dharma, changed the name, and then we flew a little bit north to the Yggdrasil forest or whatever, and got a leaf of the world tree. The leaf will revive a dead character. It's the only way to revive a dead character. You can only hold one, for the most part, you can only hold one in your inventory at a time. But if you use it, you can always go back and get another one. So unlike, Final Fantasies or whatever, you can't just buy 99 Phoenix Downs and revive everybody all the time. There is a revive spell, but we might get high enough level to learn it, but not until the end of the game. And then after that, we flew up to the Dragon Queen's castle and picked up the light orb, which will be used at the very end of the game as well. So we'll just not really talk about that for now. Save the spoilers.
Yeah. In the meantime, I want to start talking about the Baramos fight. So we're going up to Baramos's castle, which is, kind of our main objective up to this point. And Baramos is the most complicated boss in this game. So Baramos is on a fixed pattern. He has 8 actions. He will take 1 or 2 actions per turn, and these actions can be big area of effect damages, physical hits, strong spells, status effects like confusion. He's got 1 spell that can actually kick a character completely out of your party and send them back to Ruida's Tavern in Aliahan. If that happens, I'm just going to bop the reset button. I just safety saved and just come back in here. And so the general goal of the fight is I'm going to be using the Iron Eyes spell, which makes you immune for 3 turns, and use that to bypass his most dangerous attacks. I'm going to be trying to land Stop Spell to stop his magical attacks. I'm going to land Surround to give him a chance to miss with physical. I'm going to buff up my defense with Increase, buff up my attack with Bykill, probably buff up my speed with Speed Up, lower his defense with Sap, and once all of this setup is done, then I'll start attacking him. He's got 2,500 hit points, and he regenerates 100 per turn. So, scary boss. If he doesn't go to sleep, we can put him to sleep. It's got a 30% chance. If he doesn't go to sleep, it's, it can be unwinnable. I can make mistakes. You can get unlucky. Can't guarantee that, everything's going to be perfect here.
Right. This is one of those fights when something goes wrong, it can go downhill very quickly. Haktical is very good at this fight, guys. It is a very tough fight, but he's very good at it. And like you said, sometimes there are just circumstances that you can't win. You're expected to probably be about 10 levels higher than he is right now when fighting Baramos. But the big things to watch for, like you said, Stop Spell at the beginning. Sleep is super, super important. Getting all of his buffs and debuffs as quickly as possible. And then once all that's said and done, 10 rounds later, he'll start attacking. It's a very complicated fight. It's a very fun fight, but it is incredibly difficult. So real quick, here we go.
I'm going to feast on your innards.
There it is. All right, guys. We want Sleepy Dino. That's what we want. So he's going to start off using that Mist Staff and Stop Spell. Equipping. I skipped the first round. He equipped that Misery Helmet, which he found in the chest earlier, and then uses Iron Eyes to get the pattern. Pretty good movement. We really want to avoid that Flame Breath. That's the most dangerous thing. Falls asleep first time. Is this fight even difficult?
Yes.
All right. Yes, it is. It's terrible, guys. It's awful. All right. So we're going to be making sure he stays asleep. He's still asleep. We got 2 increases off. Woke up. Doesn't fall back asleep. All right. So now he's just going to have everybody try to put the dino to sleep. We Stop Spelled him. So his magic attacks aren't going to do anything. Went back to sleep. That's great. Right now he has 4 attacks. He has 2 attacks, a spell, and Fire Breath, which he just repeats over and over and over again. So Haktical knows what he's going to do next, and he's going to be prepared for it. Woke up, back asleep. My goodness, what a fight. And he's still early in the pattern, so Baramos can either attack once or twice, If he does one attack, it's the best. He woke up, back asleep.
Have you
What is
ever
this
seen
fight?
a
This
more
is-
free Baramos fight?
The most glorious thing I've ever seen in my life. He's still asleep. It's over. He wins. Fight's over. Kaishin for good measure. This is just silly.
Oh, he's sleeping.
I mean, it's. I was about to say, well, it's not over. He woke back up, but this is the most free Baramos fight I think I've ever seen.
Zero
I don't-
damage Baramos, I think.
Tactical didn't get hurt. Baramos attacked twice. This game is easy. World record's free. Congratulations.
He was the big bad. That's the end of the game, right?
That's it.
Yeah,
It's
of
over.
course. That's what the
GG.
king,
GG.
the king of Aleahan
Oh,
told us we gotta do.
God. Why is your estimate so high?
It's a good question. I promise a lot can go wrong.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying this, high spirits, because you're gonna hate me. But I cannot wait for Karma to bite you in the butt right later in this game.
I'm waiting for it too.
Just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
All right. What the?
That was fantastic.
That was so good. So good. JP Restream is saying
Shout out
GG.
AP Restream.
Man. Yes, lots of eights, I'm sure. Hachi Pachi, Hachi Pachi. I don't know what to say about that fight. It was like perfect. It does not get better than that.
Yeah, it was perfect.
He fell asleep right away. We got all of our buffs and debuffs off. He woke up, used one spell, but he was stop spelled, so he couldn't do anything, and then went back to sleep for the rest of the fight. It doesn't get better than that. It's unbelievable.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob.
I mean, someone's got to take credit.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm gonna give
can I
credit
get some
to.
trumpets? Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, give us some trumpets in chat.
Trumpets in chat for the horn players, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give credit to Marusan with that critical hit on the Hagure.
Absolutely.
We buffed up our damage quite a bit from that, and also.
I think Kaylor might have it right. He says his Baramos was up all night watching speedruns.
Yeah.
That's why he was so sleepy.
Oh, no. What's going on? Plot twist. I thought Baramos. Oh, who is this?
Shoutouts to Lavitz951. He's a big fan of the trumpeters. I'm a big fan of zapping them.
Oh God, that's Zoma's music.
All right. So then we find out the real big bad guy of the game. This is not actually the end.
I can't get over that Baramos fight.
Me either, man.
Wild. All right. What's happening? All right. So Zoma pops in, kills the trumpeters and nobody else. Why? I don't know. And then the king's like, oh no, who's this? Well, you have to go kill Zoma now. And you're like, all right, where do I go? He's like, go jump in Gaia's navel. Is that what it's called?
No, Gaia's navel's where the blue orb is.
Oh, this is the scar or something. I don't know. There's a pit in this cave and you're going to jump in it. And this part, like in video game history, hit me so hard as a kid. So hard. Because I didn't know what was coming, and it just blew my little 8-year-old mind. So you jump in this hole, and everything's real dark and gloomy, and you go out on the world map, and you're like, wait a minute. This all seems very familiar.
Yeah. So I know it's like a little bit of a polarizing topic, but I absolutely love this game's versions of the DQ1 themes. So basically what happened is we fell through the world into Alefgard, and we're now in the world of DQ1. And similar to DQ1, we need to collect the Stones of Sunlight, the Mist Staff, etc. in order to get the Rainbow Drop to get to the castle. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool redux of DQ1. Again, I'm a big fan of this version of the music, and it'll go by pretty quickly. We can sail around and kind of jump to exactly what we need.
The game wasn't over. Not quite.
I think I figured it out.
What's that?
I think Zoma's a woodwind player, which is why he killed the top section.
Man, I remember those orchestra battles between the woodwinds and the brass section. Oh, all right. Sorry, Lionheart. Yeah, there's a plot twist that the evil that everybody thought was the evil is not really the evil, and there's more evil, but in a hole.
More evil.
Prayer ring? No prayer ring.
No, I've bought 4 of them and I haven't broken one yet. So
okay, so this is, like Haktical said, Olifgard, the world of Dragon Quest 1, which is I still love. So cool. And all of the places on the map are like they're not exactly the same. But so we go into the Rocky Mountain Cave. We're going to get a couple of items that we're just going to sell for money. These guys are terrible. Luckily, we can expel them most of the time. They cast Defeat.
Beat and Defeat, yeah.
Beat and Defeat, which are instant death spells. Beat is on one person, Defeat's on your whole party. So
and
just give them... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and if it happens here, it's not like the end of the world, but there are enemies later that can also do that to us where it's actually a very big deal.
God knows you didn't use your leaf on Baramos. So still got that. So he's from here on to the end of the game, Haktikal's going to be fighting basically everything. There are some fights he's just going to run away from because they're just too dangerous or not worth it. But he's going to try to quickly and efficiently get rid of all the fights or all the enemies in the fights and just get a little bit more experience, a couple more levels before going into the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I'm not at all worried about my XP because of that Hagure, but I'm still going to fight most things that I run into. It is a marathon. Like, let's just be safe, you know?
We have a question from viewer The Countess. Haktical did say he'd start learning Kingsword Cut after the marathon. Why not start early?
Why not start early? Oh, it's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late. We can talk about Kingsword Cut real quick. So there's a very strong weapon in this game called the Sword of Kings or King's Sword, and it's for the hero and it's really good, but it does take some time to get. And the top runners, when going for PBs, will skip it because, like I said, it does take a little time to get. But it's the most powerful weapon in the game for the hero, and the hero is going to be doing the majority of our damage in the last fights. So most runners don't skip it unless you're going for those really high tier times. We're obviously not going to skip it today.
Yeah, I estimate that, it saves probably about 3 minutes. It kind of depends. It depends on what random encounters you get on the way to getting the Kingsword junk. So it can save anywhere from like 3 to 4 minutes or so, as an estimate.
If you were skipping the Kingsword, we wouldn't have gone into the Rocky Cave to get those items because you don't need the money.
I think I just did it, but I'm doing it again.
Yeah, that's fine. Wouldn't have gone to Domdora to get the Orichalcum because you don't need it to make the sword. You would have had to go back to nice encounter. Go back to Clear Chillin'. Would have had gone back to Portoga to get a sword to sell, but other than that, you just skip a lot of little things to save some time.
Yeah, as much as I hate fighting this fight, I'm actually like worried about the Hollow Ghost.
Yeah.
So I took the turn to expel it.
That's fine. These things are easy. You're strong enough now that you can, even with increase, kill them.
Yeah.
I am clear chillin', even.
Clear chillin'. Worth noting that Baramos also, the other nice thing about it, I mean, besides the fact that it was fast and whatever, is that Baramos is the single highest XP enemy in the game. So having everybody alive for the Baramos kill is very, very nice for setting up the Dark World. And so not losing anybody that fight was also pretty important. Not that like you can't win if somebody dies or anything, but...
So like we did before, stopped off at Garai or Garen's house there and encounter canceled, and we're just going to be on our way, and we're going to Myra, which is Cole in the English versions.
Mm-hmm.
You may notice that tower there and be like, hey, I played DQ1. That doesn't exist. You're right, it didn't. But it does here. And we'll be back here just a little bit later. How was that for an explanation?
Yeah, they hadn't invented boats yet.
To the point.
Yeah, to the point. I do what I can.
Boats were lost to the sands of time.
All right, so there are 2 shops in this town. There's this one where we are going to sell those 2 items we found in the cave, as well as the orichalcum and the zombie killer, which is the sage's weapon. So we sell the orichalcum to this, I guess, blacksmith. They don't really clear that up, but and you leave town and come back in, and they will have made the king's sword for us. But there's also this other shop which has really good stuff too. We're gonna buy the sage staff,
Oops.
which when used out in battle, P. Mario got the sage staff.
Yeah, I messed up the menu. It's fine.
That's all right. Which uses heal more when used in battle. And then we're going to buy the water flying clothes, which you've played DQ2. You know what that is. Really good armor. And blade armor for the mage warrior, which we didn't really talk about the blade armor. Warrior also has blade armor. When an enemy attacks the character wearing the blade armor, they take half of their damage back to them. So it's very useful. A lot of the late game bosses use physical attacks, so it's just a little extra damage. Always in, and yes, say goodbye to Catsuit.
There may be a return of the catsuit later, though.
Oh, the return of the Catsuit.
We'll see.
Cat the very next day.
So hidden in that town is the fairy flute. If you're familiar with DQ1, I had the fairy flute in that game too, which put Golem to sleep, but there's no Golem in this game. So we are going to use it for another use.
I think it can, though. It definitely can in NES. You can actually use it to put random enemies to sleep. NES can use it on like Granite Titans and things like that, I'm pretty sure. I think it still works the same way in this version. I'm not like 100% positive. I don't do it. We have sleep staffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we're heading into Rubus Tower here. This will be where we get Rubus's token, which is part of what we need to complete the rainbow drop, and we'll also get the Armor of Light here, which is the best armor for the hero. It reduces breath damage, it gives regeneration when you're moving around on the overworld, and it's a very good defensive item. That's one of the things about Dragon Quest in general, is armor is sort of weird. So armor is really useful early, but the way the damage formulas tend to work out is that every 2 strength gives you 1 attack, and every 4 armor takes off 1 damage. So if you look at a piece of armor that's got, 40 armor or something, well, I mean, I'm getting hit for like, 90, 100, shaving 10 damage off it's not nothing, but it's not as significant as it can be in some other games. Compared to a lot of high-end armor in Dragon Quest games tend to have other effects like reducing damage from breath attacks or magical spells, and that is much more significant because that'll cut damage by like 25% off breath attacks. So while they're both useful, we tend to focus more on the magic and breath attacks for a lot of the late game armor. That's what makes the Armor of Light so nice.
Yeah. So this tower is kind of a little different. It's got some like puzzles, I guess. Haktical just flew through it. So you saw those little like diamond-shaped tiles. Those actually change which direction you move. So like if you press right, it'll move you up instead, or the opposite. There are encounters in this tower, believe it or not. We only had one, which is about average. Usually get one on this top floor. So good tower. There are Hagure in this tower. There's actually a 6 Hagure fight on this floor. Or is it 7?
6.
Yeah, 6. But to be honest, 1 Hagure is enough. Like, you can get more, and it's great, but it's not that. The 1 is the biggest gain. So if you don't get any more, it's fine.
Yeah, 1 is usually a time save, especially if you get it early, especially if you're doing like Kingsword Cut where you're a little bit low on resources. 2 is not really a time save anymore. It's not necessarily a time loss, but it's not really a time save, and more than 2 just isn't really helpful anymore. I mean, I won't stop fighting them if I run into them for a marathon, because they're exciting. But
all right, so we got the token from Rubus. Now we're gonna go collect a couple more items, and then we're gonna be on our way to the end of the game. The Dark World is very quick. Obviously, if you don't know what you're doing, it takes a lot longer. But when you know exactly where to go, it's very smooth. It's very fast. The enemies in the ocean are pretty tame. There are a couple that are scary. I'm trying to be positive here. Let's see what we got. See, this is free. This fight isn't even scary. Yeah, but there is an enemy called a Cragacle, which is an octopus, and they usually come in packs of 3. They attack twice, and they're very strong, and it's one of those instances where you have to like actually buff up and put them to sleep and then run away for it to be a safe fight.
Those Merkings can also be a little bit scary. They can use some pretty strong magic and just kind of do a bunch, but 1 by itself is fine. But if they show up in like groups of 3 or something, even if you fail to run multiple times, you can end up taking a bunch of damage. You're not likely to die, but
so that was, who is she? I don't know. The Elf Queen. She gives you the who knows lore, the Staff of Rain, I believe, and it's that moment. If you remember at the very beginning of the game, the voice from heaven asks you for your real name and birthday, and there's kind of a fourth wall break where she's like, "Oh, you're this person with this birthday," talking to the player, and you're like, "I knew you would be here. Here's the Staff of Rain," which is it's kind of a nice little touch, kind of interesting to really get the player involved. But we take the Staff of Rain, we take the Stones of Sunlight and the token, and we get the Rainbow Drop. So all there's left to do... What's that?
No, go ahead.
No. All there's left to do is make our way to Zoma's castle and finish off the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, just like DQ1, the Rainbow Drop lets us get the bridge to Zoma's castle. So these goopies here, they're always fun to talk about. So goopies can summon friends, and the way that they summon friends is kind of based on how much space is available on the screen. So if there's only a little bit of space, they will... I think Mage Warrior is over 300 hit points. They'll summon other goopies, and if there's a big space, they'll summon a Granite Titan, which is actually fairly scary. That goopy wasn't really a threat being in the middle of a pretty packed formation, but this one here is a little more annoying. It's okay as long as I don't kill the Wyverns first. But sometimes, like the Blazemore spell, for example, is very good at taking out a single goopy. And we have tools like the Thunder Sword from the Mage Warrior, the King Sword from the hero we can use to cast Arrow Cross. We've got a lot of different options for how to clear encounters here. So there's a lot of just kind of technique to the Dark World of knowing what's effective, what to prioritize, what you can run from, what enemies are weak to things. This is a weird fight.
Oh, this is not a fun fight.
The salamander has Baramos breath.
Yeah. And the fact that the two giants are separate is not good either. But
Yeah, these stone man though, they're not really too scary, so I'm not terribly worried about it. But not ideal.
yeah, luckily, like 90% of the enemies in the in-game can be put to sleep pretty regularly. It's kind of the saving grace. And one of the things I really love about the Dragon Quest series in general is that those status effects work on bosses a lot. Like Baramos can be put to sleep and stop spelled, and we're gonna fight some other enemies that can do the same thing. But in a lot of like RPGs, like your standard RPGs, you can't do that sort of stuff. Like bosses are these entities that can't be touched. And I always love that about the DQ series. It really rewarded you for trying different things. Pork.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. And it's also a case where like random encounters in these games at the end of the game, they're scary. Like there are enemies in here that can cast instant kill on your entire party. We hope to not see them, and we hope if we do that we stop spell them and they leave us alone. Those troll kings can kick people out of our party all the way back to Rita's Tavern. This is both of those enemies in one fight. Unaffected, great, but we killed it anyway. So yeah, the end game enemies are very scary. Knowing how to handle them, what they're weak against, is a key part of getting through the run reliably.
Balrogs are... Oh my god, what is this fight?
This is whatever, at least.
Yeah.
Just slow.
Balrogs are terrifying. I don't know.
They are.
There are just some... Luckily, they don't have a whole lot of HP, so they go down pretty quick. And if you can get that stop spell off right away, they're pretty free. But there are some fights in this castle which are just pure terror. But we're not going to see any of those today.
We already have.
We're not going to see any of those today.
Oh, okay. We're not gonna...
Nothing.
My boys, the archmages.
Yeah. Granite Titan plus double Archmage is
awful.
One of the worst fights in the game. I'm using my prayer rings to get a little bit of MP back. I can use them in combat, especially on these Granite Titans, but I want to have some MP going into them.
Time for a quick donation?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Of course.
All right, $10 from Rob Draven, who says, Bob, you beat me to saying it, but I'm going to have to add my voice to that request for the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. Plus, on top of that, you're helping out NAMI. So it's a total win-win. Come on, folks, we can do it. And then $25 from Saro, who doesn't leave a donation comment. Thank you so much for your donation, Saro.
Was that spelled P-S-A-R-O?
No, S-A-R-O.
Okay, just checking. So we are making our way to the throne in the castle, and there's these statues blocking our path. And we have to kill all 6 of them. It's a pretty simple fight. We're going to use buy kill on the hero, use sleep on the enemies, and then just pummel them. And as long as they... He went first. As long as they go to sleep, it's free. They can crit you, and a crit will more than likely take out some of the weaker characters. Darko is not happy today. He is critting up a storm.
I also want to point out that like my HP lines and everybody are pretty great. So
yeah.
I still want Hero and Pure Warrior to get like a little bit more. I'd like Hero to be over 200 and Pure Warrior to be over 300. We're gonna get, at least another level from fighting stuff. It's not a big deal. And yeah, we've got all those life seeds that we've been picking up throughout the run that we can also use to fix whoever needs a little bit of help at the end. So coming up, there's a big room with the those tiles from Ruba's Tower, and there's an easy strat to just hold up. I'm not gonna do that.
The boy's going for swag. Yeah, so if you take the left path, you can just hold up. Otherwise, you can do this, which is not only looks cool, is a lot faster. Look at that.
It's like 2 seconds faster.
Pure skill.
But it's really fun. It's really fun and it looks cool, especially if you've ever tried to do those yourself and like gotten confused and lost and what button am I, what tile am I standing on?
Yeah. All right. These guys are kind of scary, but you can expel them. But they, again, have a chance to crit, and they're pretty strong. So.
Yeah, they're fast and strong. They can also drop a really good weapon. I don't really need it in this route. They can drop a snow sword of some sort. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it's pretty strong. It's stronger than the Thunder Sword, so I'd give it to the Mage Warrior if I got one. Similarly, the Granite Titans could have dropped a Thor Sword, which is also very strong. They're both good to get in the King Sword cut route, but they don't really make a difference in this route.
All right, we got some plot coming up here.
Yeah, bottom
Across
floor
the
of
bridge,
Zoma's castle here.
a man is fighting a Hydra by himself. We should just stand here and watch. Wait a minute, Ortega? I thought he was dead.
Yeah, you're told at the beginning of the run that your dad was Ortega, who died by falling into a volcano. And it seems that he has somehow made his way into the Dark World instead, and is still trying to save the world. So we're going to watch him. We're going to stand right next to him, about 10 feet away, and watch him run out of MP, and then get breathed on a lot. And, we've got a World Tree Leaf, but we really need that for Zoma, so...
In chat, it says, how do you know about the staircase behind the throne if you don't know DQ1? I believe there's somebody in one of the towns that mentions it. What's that town that we never go to?
Melchido?
Not Caitlin. Yeah, Melchido. They say something about it in there. But
yeah,
Skill Ortega.
In general, in this game, there's a lot of random NPCs that give you hints here and there. This game actually has a really cool mechanic casually. There's a memory mechanic. Your hero learns remember and similar spells as you level up. And when you're exiting a dialogue, you can hold the Y button and it will actually commit what an NPC is saying to memory. And then hero has a spell he can use to restore that text and replay it back. So when you get a hint, you can actually store that hint and then recall it easily as you're playing the game without needing a notepad or something like that. It's a really cool mechanic. I like it a lot.
All right, so we're going to pick up 3 more chests here with 3 nice items. First off, we got the Yggdrasil leaf. So we have 2 of those. This is the only time in the game you can have 2. So 2 revives. We got another wizard ring, which once again restores MP when used in or outside of battle. And the last thing we got was the Sage's Stone, which if you've played DQ4, you'll know, or DQ8, I believe it's in that one. Is it in 9 too? It's in a lot of them, which does a heal on your entire party without using MP. So super helpful. We're going to be using that a lot coming up here in just a minute. But this is the final castle floor of this dungeon, and we're going to head on to the altar. When we get to the altar, we're going to meet up with our boy Zoma, and he's going to make us fight 3 bosses before we get to him. So first one is going to be the King Hydra, which Ortega just died to. Some quick menuing here, passing the Sage's Stone to the Sage's Staff to the Warrior.
I forgot to use these seeds earlier.
That's all right. Who needs them? Nice 3. And then we're going to heal up, use our prayer rings, and go into the first fight. And it's going to be one right after the other. You do get a chance to heal in between, but every boss fight can be terrible. Every boss fight can be scary, but Haktical is going to make it look super easy. And he's probably going to focus a little bit, at least at the beginning of most of these fights. So I'll try to explain what's going on.
Sounds good. Yeah, the big scary one is the middle one, because he can just kill you. But
Yes. All right, King Hydra. So, like always, we're going to try to debuff and buff at the same time. We got the Saf to hit first round. We're going to use Sleep. Hopefully it hits. It's not a huge deal. It's nice if it does. Use Buy Kill with the Mage Warrior. Heal with that Sage's Stone we just picked up. And we're going to do damage with our Warrior and Hero for the most part. There's Sleep. That's great. Hopefully he stays asleep for a couple of rounds and the fight will be over. Yeah. He doesn't have a whole lot of HP, so that early sleep is really nice. He did wake up, but he should be just about dead.
Mm-hmm. Probably this turn.
Yeah. So, okay.
Nope.
Nice Kaishin. Darko not happy.
Yeah, the demon axe that's on Darko right now has a 1 in 8 chance to miss, and then a 1 in 8 chance to critical hit. So critical hits happen fairly often with that, but
the big scary part of that fight is if somebody gets attacked twice in the first round, because they'll just die, especially the Sage. So he tidied his inventory there just to get rid of all the stuff he doesn't need anymore. Takes the sleep staves out. He doesn't need those anymore. Just to clean up what he's got so he can find stuff easier. He's going to pass the Sage's Stone from the Sage to the Warrior, switch that up, heal, get some MP back, and go into the second fight. And this is Bomus, which is, like Haktical said, the worst fight of the three before Zoma. He can attack up to 3 times. He's got a strong breath attack. He's got Explodet. He can physically attack. So we want to see those rounds where he just does one thing.
Yeah, he's only got just over 1,000 health, so he dies pretty quickly, no regeneration. But
those three attacks in that round is pretty dangerous. So he defended there with Linda, just to make sure she doesn't die. Everybody else should be okay. Hopefully, Solar's HP is a little shaky, but
yeah, this is kind of scary.
Okay.
Actually, going to defend on Hero for this turn. Chill out, Bomus.
Yeah, man.
Chill out, Bomus.
Hey, we're still fine, but man, this is.
Are we?
Just one attack, Bonus. You just need one attack. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. See ya, Darko. Yeah, he's not being kind.
This could potentially be a wipe.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Hero's gone. Oh.
Yep.
Darko? See. Alright.
Well, I'm out of leaves. Well, I'm not out of leaves. My leaf is on my dead character.
Yeah. Rough fight.
Alright.
Of course. Alright, so not the best situation, but, we survived. If you do wipe here, you have to do all the fights over again. So there's no reason to leave and come back in and get another leaf. So just going to push forward and hopefully, nothing else is going to go poorly. And that is the scariest fight because he can just use Explodet 3 times in a row or Breath Explodet, and you lose characters.
Mm-hmm. I thought about and I won't. I didn't do it here. I might do it if we wipe and have to come back. There's a glitch you can do in this game to duplicate an item. You can only do it once. It's not allowed in speedruns, but for a marathon, I was considering duping the world leaf, so I'd have another one going into Zoma. And I will do that if I wipe and have to come back with a leaf, I will dupe it beforehand, so I've got two.
So this is Zombie Baramos. He has 0 agility, so he always goes last. He's very strong, but what was that laugh for?
Almost always goes last.
Almost always goes last, apparently. He's pretty strong. He can attack twice. But as long as you get a few increases off at the beginning of the fight before he kills somebody, it's not that dangerous. He's only doing like 10 to 80 damage because that's a range. But we're just going to pummel him and he should go down pretty quick.
Yeah, this guy's pretty easy once you get set up. Again, the big risk is a double physical on turn 1. Once you get 6 increases set up, you're not really at much of a risk of anything. But yeah, so turn order in this game is a little bit of a myth. Basically, the game pads everybody's agility by, I think it's 20 when it's calculating turn order. So, even though you have a character who might have 0 agility like this guy, he effectively has 20 agility. And then there's like a distribution around that, and it's possible for the warrior to go first and this idiot to go last or whatever.
Okay, so he should be dead. Yeah, there he is. So that was the 3 bosses before Zoma. Hey, he learned Zap. Nice. So he's going to use those life nuts that we've been collecting throughout the game. The reason we don't use those as we go along is it kind of messes with your HP lines a little bit. So we're using them at the end. We're going to heal up. We are going to switch weapons between the mage warrior and the warrior. And then we're going to fight Zoma. And hopefully, he's nice. Oh, Mugwig.
Hopefully.
Oh boy. Talk about that.
Oops.
First of all, high access. Second of all, got a $5 donation from Tex, who says, "Let's see the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run."
Absolutely. Well, Zoma doesn't need any luck, believe me. Man, have you broken a ring?
No, I have not. All right.
All right, big bad Zoma. Here we go.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck,
Thank
dude. First thing he's going to do is use that light orb that we got from the Dragon Queen. And what that does is it takes off this barrier Zoma's got going on. You can fight Zoma like this if you're crazy, but he does regen health. He's got higher defense. So we don't want to do that. That doesn't make any sense. But Zoma can do 4 things. He can attack. He can use Icy Breath. He can use Blizzard, Yadaruko, and he can use Waves of Ice. Waves of Ice is not an attack. It removes any buffs or debuffs. There it is right there. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for all of that. Mage Warrior is going to be buffing the hero and maybe sometimes attacking. The Warrior is going to be literally using the Sage's Stone every turn. He will do nothing else in this fight. Hero is going to be attacking basically every turn, and the Sage will be healing and kind of buffing as well, using Sap on Zoma. There is a whole lot going on. The most important thing is... Why are you laughing?
Just you saying there's a whole lot going on.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. He's going to try to keep Darko alive. Darko is the healer, so most important to keep him alive. But I love this fight. I love doing this fight. It's so much fun. It's scary as heck. But when it goes well, it's just super smooth and a lot of fun. you just have to keep an eye on so many different things. Linda defending there so she doesn't die.
Yeah, and so Zoma's got 4,500 hit points. Oh, that's bad. Warrior just outsped Zoma.
That's ridiculous. That should never happen. Okay, Linda. Okay.
I'm just going to defend with Hero here. It's fine. Let's turtle a turn. Nice dodge. We're okay.
Good job, Darko. Yeah, so Warrior is supposed to go last all the time. He didn't that turn because DQ is DQ. Because he's supposed to just end the turn with a heal. But so we just defended with everybody, played it safe, and we're doing all right again. Haktical did pick up an item called a Mohawk Wig. I don't know how much is going to come into play, but the Sage has an accessory on the Starry Bracelet, which doubles your agility.
Scary.
If he ever wants the Sage to not go first, he can equip that. Okay. Equip that Mohawk Wig, and she can go later in the turn. Yeah, this is... Okay.
Yeah, every turn's a little bit scary. I mean, a freezing breath, freezing blizzard breath. That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
A blizzard breath plus a physical can kill hero or sage from full if you're unlucky. As an example of how rough this fight can be sometimes. A double physical can also do the same. So normally I'm a little bit more aggressive with sap on this fight. I have no leaves. It's a marathon run. I am going to prioritize increase, especially earlier on in the fight. A good fight, or like an average fight, usually takes about 6 minutes. This fight's off to like a little bit of a not super fast start, so might be closer to 7, but we'll see how it goes.
So every time you see Zoma use those freezing waves, you're going to have your Mage Warrior use Bykill on the hero, try to get some increases off, try to get sap off eventually, and just do damage. You just have to keep the damage going. Having hero attack every round is ideal. Sometimes you have to take a step back and defend, but you want to try to just keep doing damage slowly and surely. Oh, man.
He wants to bop Darka.
He sure does. All right. And sometimes you may get set up and have sap and Bykill and increase all ready to go, and he uses those freezing waves, but sometimes that's the best thing he can do. So Darko, man, leave him alone. Japan is mad.
Oh boy.
Oh, don't do that. Get him, Linda. Okay. Okay. We're fine. Everything's fine.
There.
Okay. All right. Good. That was a very nice wave there. Able to heal a little bit. Okay. So we're back to full on everybody. Man, Darko and Linda are getting a beating, but like we said, they have those blade edge armors, so every time Zoma physically attacks him, he's taking damage, and that can kill him. I've had runs, I've seen other people have runs where that's what ends the fight, is Zoma basically attacking himself.
Yeah.
So every time he attacks one of those guys, it's worth it. Like,
I've counted damage before on fights, and I've literally counted 950 or more damage from blade armor through this fight.
Yeah.
That's, over 20% of his hit points. Hey.
Easy game. Wow, GG.
Whew.
313. Very nice.
Yeah, 313, maybe a 314. English is a little bit slower end.
So after Zoma's death, there's about 7 minutes between cutscenes and the credits. But this is JRTA timed, so what do you... Oh my god. Get him, Linda! Get him, Linda!
Putting it on the Mage Warrior this time.
Okay, so JRTA timing, which is power on to the end after the credits. So we do, even though Zoma's dead, the game's not over. We got a few more things to do. And because you all were so generous and donated, you get to hear Haktical's lovely singing voice during the credits.
If bad singing offends anybody, too bad. Stick around and watch.
Yeah, right? You did this to yourself. No, just kidding.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch my audio over once I get to once the singing starts to fade in. I'll let you guys know when. I'm gonna send my audio through my stream so I can sing somewhat in sync with the game, or at least as in sync as my awful sense of timing will let me be.
Can I drop 2 last donations in before
Absolutely.
Okay, this first one is from Niobari172. It's $10 with no donation comment. Thank you very much for your donation. And then with a comment, cheers from France. Go Glory Questers. A $20 donation from Melcatra. Thank you so much for all of your donations. And stay tuned for the exciting finale where you have to hear Haktical sing. Not yet.
No.
You have
It'll be beautiful.
Yeah, you all have to deal with it.
Once again, big shout out to both the French and Japanese restreams for doing their work. Thank you to Maru, especially great DQ3 runner, the legend in the community.
Yeah, and shout outs to like the DQ RTA community as a whole, right? Like we've got a Discord channel. If anybody wants to learn these runs, join up the Discord, hit us up. We all love these games. We love talking about them. And the whole DQ community is really great, really welcoming. These games are a lot of fun. The Japanese community, the Western community, we race together, we have fun. Yeah, can't say enough for all of that.
Yeah, over the past couple of years, like the East and West communities have started to play a little bit more together, which
Also,
is great.
In the scene coming up here, look at the cat.
Got the cat.
My buddy the Countess likes this. The cat will be talking to the cat once they're outside.
And we are sitting $34,659.67. It would be amazing if we can break that 35,000.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's break the 35K. Especially if we do it during your singing. That would be amazing.
Which is
right,
just about to start.
Yeah, I'm going to mute my Discord and send audio through my stream. Song's coming up.
Take it.
I'm sorry.
It'll be beautiful, guys. If I could get some mic emotes in chat when Haktical starts
Hopefully y'all
singing,
can hear me
that would
still.
be fantastic. Here it comes, boys and girls.
And our non-binary friends.
Thus the legend was born. Soshite Densetsu ga Hajimata. Kuchibiru o kamishimeta toki Tamashi moyashite mo ichido tatakau to chikau どこかできっと誰かが愛の言葉を待ってる。何もいらない強くなりたい光り輝く大地を目指して青空に耳を澄ませば振り向くなもう二度と夢に見た微笑みを胸に
GG.
All right, I'm back here in Discord.
Congrats. Nice run.
Thanks. That was I couldn't have asked for a better marathon run. It's only like a minute or two off of my English patch PB. I was really scared at the end.
It looks like Maru was singing along in the Japanese restream as well. So
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope everybody in the Japanese restream, I hope they all enjoyed the run. Hope everyone here enjoyed the run, obviously. I hope everyone sticks around for what's next. I think it's Wild Arms 4.
yeah, Wild Arms 4 is going to be up next, being run by Collective Souls RTA. That's going to be any percent. That's going to be a real good run. I'm looking forward to that one.
We're getting close to time here, so just 1 second real quick. So time is going to be when the music fades out on the to be continued screen. So I'll say time in Discord, but
Nearly there.
time. $3:13.59. It looks like.
That is not bad.
That's very good. Very good run.
Let us see the GGs in chat for that fantastic run. I wanna get all of the celebration for Haktical there.
And I mean, dude, you had 1,700 people in here. You had 2,000 people in the Japanese restream. The French restream had a few hundred as well.
We're $55 for 35K. Come on, let's get it before the end of the run.
We're gonna sit here until that hits $35,000, guys. Haktical will sing again. He'll sing again.
No, I won't.
Bear in mind, Haktical owes us $70.
Oh, that's true. So
as soon as I cut, I am going to get that in.
DQ2 song. There we go. Good idea, Axel.
Do you guys? We're $54.01, in fact, away. Anyway, we're gonna get ready to move on here. Shadow Killer, do you have anything you want to say before the end?
No, thank you to Haktical for letting me jump in and do commentary. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for everybody for watching. Like Haktical said, we have a really good Discord if you guys are interested in the DQRTA. Plenty of resources. But other than that, dude, nice, beautiful run. Couldn't have asked for better. Absolutely great.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining me, Shadow Killer. Having you help out on commentary was awesome. It was a ton of fun. Bob, as always, thank you.
Yeah,
it's great to have you along.
Always a pleasure, Bob.
My pleasure. Just in case anyone is interested in picking up Dragon Quest speedrunning, is there like a good place to go? Discord or a website or something like that?
Yeah, let me. Can I drop a Discord invite in chat here?
You would have to ask High Spirits about that one.
Never mind. Cowie just did it anyway.
Cowie dropped it. And you can find a link to it, I think, also on most of the speedrun.com pages for the Dragon Quest series.
There are in-depth guides for literally almost every game. So if there's a Monsters game or one of the main series games that you're interested in, plenty to go around.
Yeah, there's a compendium that mostly Cleartonic manages, but we all contribute to with guides and resources and stats and scripts and all sorts of things for the whole series. I mean, some games get more love than others, of course, but there's always people around to chat with and to help out, and it's a really, really fun place to just hang out. We love to race.
For sure. Well, let's round out with these last 3 donations that we've got that has pushed us so very close to the 35K. We have Wells, who donates $31.32 and just leaves a little love heart in the comment. Then we have a $5 anonymous donation with absolutely no donation comment at all. And then we have a $250 anonymous donation who also hasn't sent a donation comment. We are so close to that 35K. Oh, did we break it?
Oh. You guys have been incredibly generous. Thank you so much. You're supporting a great cause.
Is that it? We just got a $34.01 donation. Come on, total update.
Maybe. Okay, well.
Can someone on the back end give me confirmation? Anyway. We did it! High Spirits $35,000 before the end of Dragon Quest 3. Well done, everyone. Big shout outs to the community. All the money going to NAMI is going to be amazing.
Hey, there it goes.
And there we go. Watch it tick. $35,000. I want to see all the hype in the chat as we get ready to throw it over. And I will say, as I always do, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, be excellent to each other. And party on, non-gender specific honorifics. Take it away.